Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series, Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages. This is the fifth in the installment of our webinar series. And let me just walk you through the past series that we have been in the past webinars that we have had. We started in September 28, the UPLB perspective. And then we had an operational perspective last October 5. Our third in the installment was the industry perspective. And just last week, we had the SUC perspective. This morning, we will continue with this exciting series on Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages. And our theme is what UPLB can offer, part 1. And so to start us off, to give us a good start, let us hear from our UPLB Alumni Association President, Captain Mauro W. Baradas.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Unang-una, ako po ay bumabati sa ating makisig na Chancellor, Dong Camacho, ating chairman ng ating webinar, Dr. Rex Navarro, at saka kay Dr. Shell Abito. Welcome po sa ating UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. Ngayon po ay ating tatalakayin the Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages. Ano po ang mai-offer ng UPLB sa ating mga alumni na nagninegosyo o nagpapalaki pa lamang ng negosyo? So sa ngayon po ay napakarami na mga resulta ng mga experiment na dapat ay ipamigay natin sa ating mga alumni. So ngayon pong araw na ito ay ating tatalakayin kung ano ang mga pinagmamalaki ng UPLB na karapat-dapat na hangaan at tangkilikin ng ating mga alumni. Unang-una po ay bumabati rin ako sa ating seminar presentation sa ngayon kay Dr. Ped de la Cueva, Dr. Lotis Mopera, Dr. Rommel Sulabo, kay Mr. Melvin Ebuenga. So ngayon po ay ating pagtatalakayin na sana ay marami tayong may i-alok o may offer sa ating mga alumni na nagtapos dito sa UP Los Baños. At sa ngayon po ay ang mga successful na mga negosyante ay yun pong ating mga nagtapos sa ating universidad na hindi naka-PhD. So parang nakikita natin na kapag tayo ay naka-PhD, ay parang hindi tayo gear sa negosyo. Sa academe level lamang tayo. So yun po sa aking mga nakakasalamuha sa labas ay ang mga makikisig at magagaling at mga successful na mga negosyante ay yung ating mga alumni na hindi naka-PhD. So sabi nila, tamang-tama lamang during our time, hindi namin iniisip na kami ay titigil sa kolehiyo o sa universidad para dito magtrabaho. Bagkus ay maghahanap kami kung saan mayroong magandang negosyo na pwedeng makuha. So, glad to say na sa aming mga paglilibot ay napakarami tayong mga successful na graduate ng UP Los Baños na sila po ngayon ang mga tinitingala ng mga lipunan lalo sa iba't ibang negosyo. So, sa ngayon po ay ating isipin kung ano ang pwede natin talagang maialok sa mga bagong graduate na gustong mangnegosyo instead na magpatuloy ng kanilang pag-aaral sa academe. So maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Captain Mauro W. Baradas. Thank you for giving us that question. No? Ang tanong, ano ang maipagmamalaki, ano ang ipinagmamalaki ng UPLB, at ano ang may aalok niya sa alumni at sa industriya?
Yeah, okay.
That is the question that we will try to answer this morning. And also to give us a proper welcome, let us hear from our UPLB Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Dr. Mildred Lit. Ma'am Lit?
Hello. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Wow, it's really very pleasant to see everyone, lalong-lalo na ang ating mga alumni. We welcome our alumni, our guests, our friends to this UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit webinar series. Of course, unahin muna natin. Welcome, dear Chancellor, ang ating napaka-visionary na Chancellor who will dream for UPLB forever. And congratulations, sir, talaga. Ang dami-dami na pong nagagawa. Galing yan siya sa Laguna Grande at naglakad sila ng 4 na oras. Sabi ko, bakit hindi niya ako isinama? Dahil sa vision niya for UPLB pa rin. We also welcome our dear alumni. Ang tawag ko sa kanila, alumni anchors. Grabe, no? Anchor natin sila kasi galing sila dito and they will be here for us. Our dear alumni who always will give their all, their best for UPLB. Nandyan si Captain Manny Baradas, nandyan si Sir Restia Culiado, nandyan din po, nakita ko din po si Dr. Shelito Habito, and then Sir Rex Navarro, long time no see po, sir. Sino-sino pa po ang nandyan, Ma'am Mildred, para aking special mention, and who always attend this webinar. And of course, our participants, talagang ang inilagay ko dito sa aking notes, participants natin from all over the Philippines, if not from all over the world. Meron din interesadong mga alumni natin from sa iba't ibang sulok ng daigdig. And sino pa ang aking nakalimutan dito? Siyempre, thank you sa organizers, kay Ma'am Mildred, kay Sir Glenn, and Polly. Ang gagaling, talagang naghanda sila kanina bago tayo nag-umpisa para talagang this webinar would be a bang, a very, very fruitful discussion. And of course, featuring today is a series of our Academic-Alumni-Industry Linkages. Katulad ng sabi ni Ma'am Mildred, ano ang pwedeng ma-offer ng UPLB? And we welcome our panelists for today's discussion. We have Dr. Fe de la Cueva from the Institute of Plant Breeding. We have Dr. Lotis Mopera from the Institute of Science and Technology. We have Dr. Rommel Sulabo from the Institute of Animal Science. We have Mr. Melvin Ebuenga from the National Crop Protection Center. So yun po ang ating maririnig mamaya, and they will discuss the different technologies developed by our UPLB researchers and what UPLB can offer to pursue UPLB's linkages with the industry in close partnership, adhering to future-proofing UPLB with our famous 4Cs: close alliance and consolidation, cooperation, collaboration, and compassion with our alumni. So we hope the discussion will open further our avenue for stronger linkages with our alumni and industry. So maraming pong salamat at mabuhay ang UPLB alumni. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lit. That was a very warm welcome for everyone. And I think sinimulan niya ng maganda ang ating magiging discussion. And as we said, this is only part 1. And that's because there's so much that UPLB can offer. And so I won't take up much of our time. Let me now begin. Let us begin the presentations. And so for our first presenter, she is the current director of the Institute of Plant Breeding, a scientist under the scientific career system, and her expertise is in banana, mango, sugarcane, and papaya pathology. She is a project leader of research projects on disease indexing, quarantine of introduced varieties, and management of diseases of economically important crops. The outcome of their work at the Plant Pathology Laboratory, which is her home laboratory, have and continuously contributed to plant breeders in developing high-yielding and disease-resistant crop varieties, a mark of IPB's work and contribution to Philippine agriculture over the years. So friends, help me in welcoming the current director of the Institute of Plant Breeding, Dr. Fe M. de la Cueva. Dr. de la Cueva.
Thank you, Ma'am Mildred. And good morning, everyone. Lalo na po sa aming masipag na Chancellor, Chansidong, good morning. And nakita ko po yung ating pinagpipitagan na alumno, si Dr. Shel Habito. Magandang umaga po, Dr. Navarro. And of course, the UPLB-AA President, Captain Manny Baradas. Okay, bago po ako mag-start na aking presentation, allow me to thank in behalf of the Institute of Plant Breeding, the UPLB-AA through its president. Again, Captain Manny, thank you very much. And also the VP and as well as the CAPS Alumni Association President, Dr. Resty Collado, and all the organizers for coming up with this webinar series. And I know through this webinar series, we are linked to the academe, to the industry, and even to our alumni. Maraming salamat po again for inviting us to showcase our technologies. Okay, allow me to share my my presentation. Again, I am Fede La Cueva from the Institute of Plant Breeding. And before I start my presentation, which is entitled IPB, or Innovative Plant Breeding Technologies for Agribusiness, allow me to walk you through the history of the Institute of Plant Breeding. In 1975, that was June 5, 1975, IPB was established by the virtue of Presidential Decree 729 as the National Breeding Center of all crops. And this was through the efforts of our elders, tawag namin sa kanila legends, headed by no less than the national scientist, Emil Q. Javier. Siya po ang ating visionary founding director. And then after a year, this presidential decree was amended for the establishment of the National Plant Genetic Resources Laboratory, or NPGRL in IPB. After that, in 1992, IPB was named as the lead agency for crop biotechnology research through RA 7308 of the Seed Industry Development Act. Ayun. So what is our vision? Base po ito sa aming mga ninuno. IPB as a leading institute in the development of crop varieties in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. And our mission is to strengthen plant breeding works in the Philippines, to support the national programs for intensified production of major crops, and to conserve plant genetic resources. Ano po ba yung aming mga mandates? Una, to develop new and improve varieties of important agricultural crops, to undertake investigations in plant breeding and allied disciplines related to crop improvement, to systematically collect, introduce, preserve, and maintain a germplasm bank of important and potentially useful agricultural crops. We also assist other government agencies in the multiplication of quality seeds and vegetative materials of recommended varieties. We also enter into agreement or relationships with similar institutions or organizations, both here and abroad, in furtherance of the above purposes. At ano po ba yung aming mga doables? Siyempre, varieties and technologies. Now we focus on low-hanging fruits, yung ating mga tinatawag na indie fruits, indie vegetables, even yung aming ating ornamentals and medicinals. And we are focused on new frontiers in biotechnology. And we believe in the marriage of conventional breeding and new breeding techniques. We also do promotion and commercialization of seeds and planting materials, trainings, as well as services. At syempre, ano ba yung aming endpoint? We want to contribute to food security, farmers' productivity, and of course, partnership. Ayun po. We are working strategically. We are filling the gaps. Sabi ko, yung mga indie crops, yung mga nakakalimutan na nating mga crops, ayan. We're working on that. We take advantage of the opportunities amidst adversities. So we're very active in breeding for stress tolerance and other production systems. We also focus on market segmentation in the major crops. So meron nga po tayong mga regional preferences. So inaalam din po namin. But we continuously sharpen our tools. We're active in new breeding techniques and big data management and other apps. Our major programs, germplasm collection and conservation, kasi nga po, we're working on quality varieties. So we need good breeding materials. So we have the National Plant Genetic Resources Laboratory, which is the National Center in Plant Genetic Resources. So through the NPGRL, we acquire, characterize, evaluate, conserve, document, distribute, and utilize germplasm of important and potentially useful agricultural crops. We're very active in varietal development. Alam niyo po ba, we have developed more than 200 varieties of cereals, vegetables, legumes, roots and fruit crops, ornamentals, and feeds and industrial crops. At most of these varieties ay registered na po sa National Seed Industry Council. We're also using plant breeding technologies. The Institute leads in plant biotechnology in the country. So coupled with conventional breeding technique, we use these technologies to increase marketable yield and profit, reduce production costs, and form alternatives safer, and develop new technologies. We also do seed multiplication. Siyempre, importante po yun. Whatever we produce, we multiply and we disseminate these technologies. And ngayon nga po, just recently, we have concluded the project under DA, Bayunihan 2. So we produce seeds and planting materials that we turned over to DA and other LGUs. This is in support of the department's plant program. Yon. And we also established linkages with other institutions.
Excuse me
We
po.
cannot do this
Ma'am
alone.
Pe,
Yes po?
ma'am, parang nagka-problema, nag-freeze po yata yung slides natin, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay na po?
Wala pa pong lumalabas, ma'am, dito sa atin.
Okay. So what do I do now? I will share again.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige nga po, ma'am.
Okay.
Ayan,
can you
yes,
see now?
ma'am. There it is.
Okay. So, sorry for that. And then now, what we can offer. Sabi kasi ng ating officers ng UPLB-AA, it's not just producing technologies. We have to offer it to our partners. Okay, so these are our products, the varieties and technologies, knowledge, and human resources. Okay, for varieties, meron po tayong, the first variety that was commercialized ay ang ating pong Sinta Papaya. Okay, we all know that papaya is an important fruit crop in the Philippines. Lahat tayo kumakain ito, di po ba? And currently, 98% of the produce is consumed locally. Pero meron po tayong mga export papaya. But in late 80s, nagkaroon po tayo ng issue on diseases. Specifically, ito pong papaya ring spot virus disease, which almost wiped out the industry of papaya here in Luzon. So the Sinta Papaya, ito po yun. Okay, Sinta Papaya is a moderately tolerant variety of papaya to PRSV, was developed and released by the Institute of Plant Breeding and through the efforts of the Fruit Crop Division headed by excuse me po, Dr. Violeta Villegas. And this project was made possible through the grant from PICAR, DOST, in collaboration with Griffith University, ASHAR, ayan, and even ISAA and Plant Genetic Engineering Unit of Kasetsart University. And yung mga trials po were conducted sa ating mga farmer cooperators who saw the importance of this variety. And this variety is very sweet, yellow flesh, semi-dwarf, madaling pitasin, and very prolific. As early as 8 months after transplanting, pwede na pong maka-harvest ng papaya. So through this, na-revive po ang papaya industry. But people are saying it is not resistant. Yes, it is not resistant, but it was able to, it can resist PRSV infection. Okay, and UPLB has been working collaboratively with a private company. Ito po yung East-West Seed Company since 2003. And East-West Seed Company is currently producing, marketing, and distributing the seeds and seedlings of this Sinta variety. At alam niyo po ba, marami nang narating ang ating Sinta papaya. Nagpunta na siya sa India, sa Kenya, Myanmar, Pakistan, Peru, Thailand. At ang sabi po sa Pakistan, our Sinta papaya produces twice as much yield than their open-pollinated papaya. O di po ba, malayo na ang narating ng Sinta papaya. And just recently, the licensing agreement between UPLB and East-West Seed Company has been renewed. And dahil nga po sa success ng Sinta variety, yung pong partnership natin with East-West Seed Company ay nagpapatuloy po. And ngayon po, we entered into another agreement. So we just signed, or the UPLB has signed the licensing agreement between the UPLB and East-West Seed Company. Kasi po meron tayong bagong varieties. Ito po yung hirang, timyas, at liag. So we call this HLT. So the development of these hybrid papayas came into fruition from the royalty paid by the East-West to IPB for Sinta papaya. So umiikot po yung lahat ng mga royalties. Okay. So IPB is forever hopeful. Kaya meron po kaming mangbin varieties at ang tawag po namin dito ay Pag-asa series ng mangbin. And these Pag-asa series are widely adapted varieties from uplands to rice base. And these varieties serve as parentals in several Asian countries. Imagine, ginagamit po sila sa breeding works ng ibang bansa. And now we're continuously developing varieties with specific adaptations sa drought, sa waterlogging, because we know na talagang meron pong climate change. And we're also increasing the nutritional quality of our mangbin. Meron din po tayong Trust or Tiwala series. Ito po yung soybean. We have several varieties of soybean. And most of these soybean varieties are adapted to specific locations. Ginagamit po sila for food and even for feed. And these seeds can be stored on farm kasi po yung viability ng soybean napakababa. After some time in the storage, bumabagsak po yung kanyang viability. So we have to store it on farm. And now we're also developing varieties of soybean with high protein and other traits. Ito nga po, if you can see from the slide, meron po tayong Manchuria variety. Ito pong Manchuria variety has higher bean yield advantage over the Czech variety. And it is preferred for processing ng soy milk, as tofu. And just recently, when Yusek Guevara visited the institute, we offered edamame or yung pong boiled fresh soybean. Yun, and nasarapan po sila. We also have this dela variety. Ito po, kulay black siya. It has high yield advantage over the Czech variety, but it is black. And it is used for fermented black soybean, black soy milk, and black soybean tea. So ayan po ang ating mga soybeans. Ayan. Another blockbuster technology that we have ay ang corn grits. O yan. So ito po yung ating corn grits that was developed or produced from IPB var6. Sabi nga po, yung mga Asians ngayon ay nasa higher risk of type 2 diabetes kaysa sa mga Europeans. Kasi yung ating food intake and the more sedentary lifestyle that accompanies rising incomes. Yan yung mga yumayaman, nababawasan na po ang lagi na lang nakaupo sa harap ng computer or nagbibilang ng pera. So dahil dyan, we have these corn grits. Kasi while soda and sugary snacks are largely the reasons, a growing body of research is taking aim at everyone's favorite grain. Yung pong rice natin, alam natin, it can cause diabetes kung tayo po'y sumusobra dito. So we're offering corn grits. Ang corn grits po has low glycemic index and it is good for athletes. It stabilizes blood sugar. So very good po siya for our diabetics. And even po for those who are figure conscious or those who are Weight Watchers. Because this reduces incessant craving for food. Kapag kumakain kayo ng corn grits or ng rice with corn grits, ayan, hindi kayo madaling magutom. Okay, sabi nila, this corn grits naman is available sa mga markets. So why bother na bumili sa IPB? What we offer here is produced from quality protein maize or the IPB var6, which contains higher amount of essential amino acids, lysine, and tryptophan. So this is used for feeding program at nakita na po talaga na if you mix corn grits with rice, talagang bababa po yung glycemic index. Okay, this IPB var6 came from CMIT, yung kanyang original materials, but through selection, na-improve po ito ng ating cereals breeding division through the leadership of Dr. Art Salazar. So now we're collaborating with the College of Human Ecology, with SEAT, and even po sa Health Service Baños for the supply of these corn grits. Ayan. We also have other corn varieties in the pipeline. Yan, yung mga colored corn natin, these corn varieties contain high antioxidant. So very soon we'll be launching these corn varieties. Okay, so one of the favorites of the Filipino people ay yung ating banana, di po ba? Kaya nga lang, ay marami po sa banana natin ay anong tawag dyan, susceptible doon sa tinatawag na Banchi top virus. At dahil nga po sa Banchi top, madaling ma-wipe out yung banana. So if you're planting lakatan varieties after one generation, chances are nagsuccumb na siya sa infection, sa BBTV infection. So dahil po dyan, yung pong grupo ni Dr. Oli Damasco ay nag-develop ng 5 lakatan banana varieties. At ito po ay tinawag namin na mapilak varieties. As the name implies, it will give pilak sa ating mga banana growers. Kasi the varieties can withstand BBTV. Hindi po siya nagsusukom agad-agad even after several generations. So these varieties are now available, kaya pwede po kayong umorder sa institute. We also have saba. Alam po naman natin kung ano yung ginagawa ng ating saba sa katawan natin. And one of my mentors is always saying na kumain ka ng saba kasi mas madali kang lulusog. So we have new banana varieties. Ito po si Dakila at saka si Makisig. So ito po ay product na na-develop or na-select ng grupo ni Dr. Leverny Gueco. And these varieties are resistant to BBTV. Alam po naman natin na ang saba ay resistant pero it's becoming susceptible. So with these 2 new varieties, talaga nakita po namin na siya ay matatag. So we call it makisig kasi talagang mataas po ang kanyang yield, and we call the other one dakila kasi ang aga niyang mamunga. So mas maaga yung pasok ng pera sa atin. So these varieties were selected using the funds from the OSTP card. Ayon. Okay, we also have indie fruits. Ayan, yung po ating mga youth, hindi nakilala itong ating mga indigenous fruits, the katmon, batuan, tampoy, kija, baligang, lipote, and even po the young ones o NCE, hindi na po ito masyadong nakikita. So we are popularizing this indie fruits. Ito pong ating katmon, lipote, and haggis are being utilized for wine production. So we're working collaboratively with the Institute of Food Science and Technology para po lalo pang ma-harness yung ating utilization nitong mga indie fruits. Yung pong katmon natin and batuan are processed as sinigang meats. And very soon, sabi nga sa amin ni Yusek Guevara, we want to see this sinigang mix sa SM or other supermarket. Ayun, tutulungan daw po niya tayo. Okay, we also have vegetable varieties. Ayan, meron po tayong cucumber, we have tomato, eggplant, okra, squash, and tambuli. Ito pong ating tambuli upo is now being commercialized by East West Seed Company. So hindi lamang po yan nandito sa ating NSF, ginagamit na rin po ito ng East West Seed Company. Ayan, sino po naman na makaka-ignore ng ating ornamental varieties? You are all aware of our hibiscus series na naggagandahan, and they were named to our to several popular people na make contributions sa science. Meron din po tayong Hoya at meron po tayong Musaenda and the colorful Vincas. So these are all available dito po sa IPB, and these are now being used by our plantitos and plantitas. Actually, ito pong aming ornamental crops breeding division has entered into an agreement with gardeners in Bulacan, yung mga associations po doon. So meron na rin po tayong taker nito. Okay, we also have purple sweet potato on the pipeline, at ito po yung sweet potato na talagang ginagawa namin or pinaprocess in collaboration with the Institute of Food Science and Technology and Animal Science. Ito po is a good colorant. Hindi na natin kailangan yung mga artificial dyes para gamitin to aside from its nutritional facts. The same thing with our cassava. Ayan. These varieties are being used for feed and food. So we are working with other units of the College of Agriculture and Food Science for the processing of these varieties. Okay, we also offer technologies. Ayan, ito po ang aming SNAP hydroponics. I'm sure you have watched the video or the YouTube of SNAP hydroponic. At this is a soilless alternative food production system developed by the Institute through the funding given by the DA-BAR. Siyempre, we cannot do it without your support. So we're using water and solutions A and B to grow vegetable crops. So napakadami na pong takers nitong ating SNAP hydroponics kasi it can shorten the crop production cycle, so you can grow more vegetables at a very short time. We're also offering trainings through the Extension and Business Development Division of the Institute para po dito sa mga enthusiasts. We have already trained farmers, even po yung ating mga doctors, lawyers, and OFWs. They are continuously availing these services, yung pong ating training. We used to offer it once a month, but due to insistent public demand, ayan, twice a month na po yung ating training kasi napakataas po talaga ng demand. And even po yung San Miguel Foundation is currently using this technology in its corporate social responsibility projects in Diliman, Quezon City. Even po yung RGMA network, meron din na rin po tayong inaayos na MOU para magamit tong ating technology na ito. Okay, we also offer other services like the genotyping protocol to test the purity and hybridity of coconut, of mango, of eggplant, and other crops. Ayun, marami po tayong i-offer. Just approach us for this. We also offer knowledge. Ayan. So we have developed protocols for the tissue culture of major crops, yung pong ating mga high-value crops. Meron na po tayong protocols for mass propagation of these crops. We also do genomics-assisted molecular breeding, and we do sequencing of the genome of different crop varieties. And we have developed a BT eggplant and delayed ripening papaya through genetic engineering. Ayun. So aside from those varieties and technologies, we also train people. Kaya po ito, this is one of the resources that we have, yung human resources. Yung pong mga experts natin sa IPB ay ginukuha pong trainers or even advisor ng mga public and private institutions. And even po yung mga research agencies. So we are not madamot, so we share them with us. At alam niyo po ba, these days, marami pong nasa key positions sa mga private companies ay mga alumni ng IPB. Yan. Okay. We cannot do this alone, so we collaborate with government agencies, with other SUCs. Siyempre, kailangan natin sila. We also collaborate with international organizations. Ayan, either for fund or collaborative project. And we collaborate with international universities. Kukunti lang po itong mga seal na nandito, but we have existing collaborations with a number of universities in Asia, in Europe, and in the US. Okay, so this is the Institute of Plant Breeding, and we are the chosen breed. Thank you and good morning.
Ayan, thank you very much, Ma'am Fe. Thank you for putting the spotlight on IPB and all the different products and technologies and services that the Institute can offer our alumni and our guests and our friends from the industry. Nakakatuwa kasi I'm sure that a lot of us have been introduced to many of these products, lalo na ngayong panahon ng mga plantito at plantita,
Yes, right?
hindi ba?
Yes,
At also, gusto ko lang, ikinatutuwa ko lang yung mga pangalan ng mga produktong ito, no? Very Filipino, very positive. Sinta, pag-asa, tiwala, mapilak, dakila, makisig. So it doesn't just showcase how excellent the products are, but also yung pagiging nationalistic at pagiging very hopeful ng Institute of Plant Breeding. Ayan, thank you very much, ma'am. And mga kaibigan, maaari po kayong magsulat ng questions dito. I-type nyo lang sa ating Q&A box. At mamaya po, after all our presenters have spoken, have given their, introduced their institutions, then i-address po natin ang mga tanong na ito. Ayan, so let us go now to our second presenter. Our second presenter is Dr. Lotis E. Mopera. She is the current director of the Institute of Food Science and Technology. She has 15 years of experience as a researcher, and her areas of expertise include food safety management systems, food microbiology, food analysis, functional food, food biotechnology, thermal processing and experimental techniques in agricultural biotechnology, food processing management, and molecular gastronomy. Friends, let us welcome Dr. Lotis E. Mopera.
Good morning, everyone. So, first of all, I would like to acknowledge, of course, our Chancellor, Dr. Sevi Camacho, our Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, VC-LIT. Magandang umaga po. And of course, to the ever-active members of the UPLB-Alumni Association and their president, Captain Mauro Baradas, and of course, to the president of the CAPS Alumni Association, Dr. Resty Collado, and to our dear panelists, Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat, and I'll go right away to my presentation. Let me share my screen. So again, I am Lotis Mopera, the current director of the Institute of Food Science and Technology, and would like to convince you that we are at the Institute of Food Science and Technology, we are forging linkages through public service. Okay, so the Institute of Plant Breeding, we were also mandated by an executive order or a presidential decree way back in the 1970s. And one of them is to develop a critical mass of leaders, teachers, researchers, and extension workers in food science and technology. Second is, of course, we have to generate information through research for the efficient handling, distribution, processing, and utilization of agricultural produce. Third is to develop appropriate and efficient food handling and processing technologies, as well as to provide technical assistance to the various sectors of the food industry, particularly our MSMEs. So with this mandate in mind, we have to think of how we can help, especially our smallholders in the industry. Not only that, our services are reinforced and augmented to complement what we offer for our function in instruction. So part of our services that we offer in IFST are, of course, analytical services. This is mainly to serve, especially those small food industry or food processors, especially in Laguna, who are in need of analytical services for their FDA compliant. Okay, so we also offer product development. There are smallholders in the industry that do not have the capacity for research and development, and so we are offering our services for a very minimal fee for product development, as well as sensory evaluation to help them evaluate the consumer acceptance of their product. Okay, so for those smallholders and who want to pilot scale their products or upscale the production or the manufacturing of their products, we also offer pilot plant services. And incidentally, we are also identified as the Food Innovation Center for Region 4, courtesy of the DOST collaboration. They help us in establishing this innovation center, and we have now on hand equipment like vacuum fryer, spray dryer. Of course, we have the cabinet dryers. We also have fish dryers, and these are equipment that can actually hasten or make your products more sophisticated and ready for the market. So we also offer short training programs on various commodities, and this can be found at the website of the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension. And of course, we also have quality assurance training programs to equip our food handlers, food processors, and manufacturers with the training on GMP and HACCP and the like, so that they can produce quality and safe food. And of course, we also offer technical assistance for those food processors or those who are in the industry or involved in the industry that do not have enough background in food science and technology. Okay, so as stated in our mandate, we are part of those that produce or that provides the human resources for the industry. And these are just some of the different companies that for the last 5 years only, according to our survey, where our alumni are serving as quality assurance officers, QC officers in the R&D, in their sales, and in the different technical services that this company has to offer. And not included here, of course, are the different DOST line offices and provincial and regional offices where our alumni can also be found. Okay, so as well, we are also serving the nation by providing faculty members to the various state universities to the different regions of the Philippines. If you ask from northern Philippines out to the southern part of the Philippines, you can definitely find an alumni from the degree programs of IFST UPLB. Okay, so because of the various network that our alumni have established through the years, so we have all of these collaborations. Not only that, so we also forge collaborations to our projects that are usually funded by the OST and the Department of Agriculture. Like for instance, we have a collaboration with the Central Luzon State University, Isabela State University, Sultan Kudarat State University, Western Visayas State University, and Western Mindanao State University. So we are going global as well. So most of the time we have a student exchange program in and out of UPLB. So notably every year pre-pandemic, we have visiting students and professors from the Obihiro University of Agriculture and Veterinary Medicine, as well as students from the Texas A&M. Okay, so just recently we have the MOU with the Korean Flower Tea Association. We held a symposium in IFST wherein they shared the technology for how to make tea from flowers. And of course, we can never forget our collaboration with the industry. And I think the first one that we formalized was our collaboration with McDonald's Philippines, wherein they will provide or employ our students during their internship program, and in return, our faculty and staff will have the experience to actually handle training programs for food safety for McDonald's Philippines. And we hope we can continue this during the pandemic, because all of this collaboration actually happened, pre-pandemic. And just to mention other exchange programs that we have food safety collaboration with Kagawa University. We also send students to, we also offer training programs for other Thai universities. And these are all linkages that we forge through the Office of Institutional Linkage and of course the College of Agriculture and Food Science. Okay, so tech team, can we be ready with the video that we are about to show now? So I would like to invite everyone to please watch the video that we'll be showing you. These are the different products of food science that were launched during the UPLB Foundation Day. Okay po. Thank you for watching the video, and I think I need to show you more to convince you that IFST do have a lot of things to offer. So let me go back to my slide. Okay. So that is, by the way, brought to you by the Food Innovation Center that was funded by the Department of Science and Technology collaboration together with the ITDI, DOST. So these are the different products that were shown on the video, our beverage line, ready-to-eat snack food, and food ingredient line. Okay, so this also addresses what was pointed out by Dr. De La Cueva earlier, that we are trying to utilize indigenous agricultural produce within the region and outside the region as well. And we are also promoting that because that's also part of our mandate at the Institute of Food Science and Technology. This product utilizes the DOST donated equipment to the Institute, like vacuum frying, which actually reduces the oil content, if you notice in our snack line. So this has reduced oil content, and of course, by utilizing all these indigenous materials, some of them, we also increase economic value and we promote this agricultural produce. Okay, other innovative solutions that we have at the Institute of Food Science are the following. So we have, of course, we have a microencapsulation of bignay powder that was developed by Dr. Florendo Flores. So this actually uses a spray drying technology that stabilizes the bignay fruit, which of course we know is highly perishable. Okay, and what more is that the nutritive and the functional food property of the this particular product or fruit is actually preserved. Right on your screen is of course our another approved utility model, which can be used for the production of TVP or textured vegetable protein for soybean that did not remove the oil from soybean, of course. Okay, so this one is particularly special to me because this was a solicited research by the DOST Picard, and this actually aims to answer the problem on the short shelf life of salted duck egg products, and we were able to develop a technology, particularly an antimicrobial film that will extend the shelf life to a maximum of 12 weeks depending on the raw material that will be produced. Okay, so this also has a utility model application at the IPA field, and we already have 2 material transfer agreement with the DOST Bataan Provincial Office and their collaborator, as well as through the TTBDO, UPLB TTBDO. We also have MTA with a salted egg processor here in Laguna. Okay, so what are our opportunities for collaborations? Of course, you have seen the technologies that we have to offer. So we are looking for collaborators, okay, in the industry who are interested in any of our technologies and who are likely to adopt our technologies. Okay, so commercialization is also on our wish list. Is okay, if you forge a collaboration with us, you will have access to our technologies and access to our facilities. And of course, we can be partners in business. And of course, that will be facilitated by our UPLB TTBDO office. Okay, moving forward. So, you know that our building is already about 4 decades old, the pilot plant, although it was recently renovated. We are moving forward by constructing a new food processing and research and development center, and we hope that this will reinforce and augment our offerings, whether in degree programs and in developing in our research and our extension services. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to engage everyone in collaboration, so you can contact us at the different contact us to our email, to our webpage, to our Facebook page, as well as you can call us at our office landline. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for listening. Let us connect, collaborate, and innovate.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lotis. Thank you for putting the spotlight on IFST. It's so interesting to know, napakalawak na ng network ninyo, ng mga alumni na galing sa IFST, ano? And also, I found very interesting the presentation of your new products. I'm sure hindi lang ako, no? Marami nang interested dyan malaman, where can we get this? How do we buy it? Ako bilang nanay, as a consumer, I am interested. But I'm sure a lot of our alumni here, hindi lang bilang consumers, no? Pero as people who want to try businesses, they are interested in these products. And also our friends in the industry who are part of the processed food industry. Ayan, so mga kaibigan, kung meron na pong napukaw na po ang inyong interest and you have questions, again, I'm inviting you to please type your questions in our Q&A box. And later, after all our presenters have introduced their institutions and their services, we are going to address them. Sa ngayon nga po ay may mga dumarating ng mga questions, kaya okay lang po, magpadala po kayo ng mga tanong. In fact, in Facebook, you can also send your questions doon sa comment section kasi tayo ay live sa ufb.com/UPLB-Alumni-Relations. Ayan, mapapanood po ninyo itong ating Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkage webinar. Ayan, mga kaibigan, sa pagpapatuloy ng ating pagsagot sa tanong na ano ba ang maipagmamalaki ng UPLB? Ano ba ang mai-offer niya sa alumni at sa industriya? Bumalik na tayo sa ating presentations. For our third presenter, we have with us Professor and Director Dr. Rommel C. Sulabo, who is the director of the Institute of Animal Science. His trifold functions focus on applied monogastric nutrition, emphasizing the evaluation and development of technologies and programs that can help our swine and poultry producers achieve greater efficiencies. So friends, let us welcome Dr. Rommel C. Sulabo.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moscoso. And again, thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this Alumni Summit. Bilang isang alumni din ng UP Los Baños at engaged with many alumni groups, this is definitely one activity that's very important para makita natin kung saan yung mga potential collaborations na mga magagawa natin. So let me share my screen. Okay, so from the Institute of Animal Science, I would like to share with you our experience on alumni industry engagements. Now, for the Institute, our vision is to be a world-class academic institution of higher learning in animal science that will contribute to national development. And we believe that this will not be possible without industry engagements. Because at the end of the day, ang pinuproduce nating mga graduates has to be part of the solution in addressing the needs of our not just our animal industry, but Filipino as a whole. And because of this, we have been very cognizant about industry engagement. So from the very beginning, talagang napaka-tibay na ng communication at partnerships ng Institute of Animal Science with industry. At ang naging malaking parte ng ating mga alumni and industry stakeholders is in the development of competitive programs. And we believe that our BSA program, Major in Animal Science, is a globally competitive academic program. And we can see it from some of the rankings that we could get. So just recently from our internal academic assessment and development system or IADS, ang Institute of Animal Science as a degree granting program is ranked #1 in the College of Agriculture and Food Science. It is also ranked #1 in the entire UP Los Baños, and it is #11 in the entire UP system. Our program is also AUNQA certified, and this is the revised BSA program. And again, sa pag-revise ng programa natin, napakalaki na naging part ng stakeholders sa paghubog at pag-develop ng mga courses na talagang tutugon sa mga problema natin sa industriya. And I think another recognition on the competitiveness of our program is that the Institute of Animal Science is one of very few academic programs or academic units in the university that has its standalone scholarship program granted by the German Academic Exchange Service. So meron po tayong programa na nagbibigay po tayo ng scholarship sa mga ASEAN scholars po natin pagdating po sa animal science. So as I indicated a while ago, industry engagement is very important to this industry, and sinimulan na po yan ng aming mga predecessors at yan ay aming pinagpapatuloy. So every year kami po ay nagkakaroon ng stakeholder consultations where we invite both alumni and leaders of the industry. And we discuss on matters related to our graduates that we produce from the programs that we have and the research that we conduct. And yung napag-uusapan sa mga consultations na ito ay talagang kino-consider po natin pagdating sa pagde-develop ng ating programs. Isa sa naging bunga ng stakeholder consultations ay ang pagpapaigi ng ating internship program. Dati, ang ating mga estudyante ay only required to do either a thesis or a practicum. But today, because of the revisions in the BSA program, our students now are required to do both research and practice. And so we then engage industry in this program, and with these objectives, it's been really good na marami po tayo naging partners pagdating sa pag-train ng ating mga estudyante. Many of these are large companies that have diverse businesses. So they would allow our students now to shadow and practice even before they graduate. So this is a very good opportunity for our students to be able to see what it is really like in the real world and how they could function and more effectively function once they graduate and be employed in industry. We also focused on developing our graduates, not just in terms of their technical knowledge, but also the professional experience. And so one of the things that we've done with industry as well is to prepare them for their careers. So we've done trainings for our students to ensure that when they are employed, they can function more effectively as professionals. And we've also engaged with industry in ensuring that all of our graduates have jobs. And I think that's one of the things that we can be very proud of. Our animal science graduates have 100% placement for jobs in less than 6 months. We are also very lucky because we have a lot of engaged animal science alumni. So very passionate. Marami po tayong mga alumni na talagang may puso para bumalik at tumulong sa kanilang alma mater. At siguro isa na sa pinakakilala sa mga alumni po natin ay si Mr. Ronald Mascarenhas, at siya po ang ating naging speaker sa huling graduation. And Ronald Mascarenhas is a perfect example of an engaged alumni that is willing to provide all possible resources to support students and his home institution. So one of the things that he's done is he donated a laboratory. This is the Livestock Genetic Improvement Laboratory po tumulong sa renovate ng isang laboratory na ngayon ay ginagamit na o gagamitin ng mga estudyante natin pagbalik nila from the pandemic. It's also important that we strengthen these linkages, and one of the things that we've also done is to create our alumni association. So last year ay nakapagtayo po tayo ng grupo ng mga alumni ng Animal Science na sila ang magtatakda kung ano po ang magiging programa ng mga alumni para sa kanilang para sa Institute of Animal Science. At ganoon din po, we also made ways that we can communicate with them directly, and that is through building a website where we have a direct way of connecting to our alumni. I think one of the most important engagements that we had with industry is filling the needs of the industry, and we know that there is it's important for us to develop our human resources, particularly in the animal feed industry. Ang animal science ay unique because we have more graduate students than undergraduate students. And from our graduate students, about 80% of that is in animal nutrition. And many of these are professionals in varying levels in the industry. And we really felt that we have an opportunity to help them advance in their profession. And so we proposed a new program, a new academic program, which is the Professional Master in Animal Nutrition, or MAN, which was approved by the Board of Regents last June. And this is the first professional master degree program for the College of Agriculture and Food Science. It was also important for us to not just engage alumni, but animal industry partners as well. And we are very happy that many companies are very supportive of the Institute. One perfect example is Philippine Foremost Feed Milling Corporation donating 35 million to UPLB to build the Advanced Animal Science Research and Training Laboratory. We also have companies that have donated vehicles for the students and also equipment to our laboratories and to our university animal farm. In terms of our engagement with industry, one of the things that the Institute has been doing very well is its partnerships with international research partners. And this is just an example showing the multitude of private industries, private companies that we have engaged in just the last 5 years. This is companies that are in Asia, in Europe, and in the United States and South America. That shows the recognition, that they recognize that the Institute of Animal Science and UPLB is a very good partner when it comes to knowledge creation. We've also engaged with our local research partners. Many of our large integrators, feed companies, breeding companies, we are collaborating with them. And obviously, our funding agencies like DOST, DA-BAR, and CHED. All in all, in the last 5 years, we were able to generate 137 million of research grants, which is used mostly for research for our students. So this allows our students to be able to conduct work that is directly linked to the needs of the industry. So we have quite a big number of industry-supported research programs. But the list is too long, so I just focused on the main themes of some of the work. So we have programs where we are focusing on breed development and genetic conservation and improvement. We have work on genetic and biochemical biomarkers related to growth productivity or efficiencies. Probably a major area of research for us would be feed evaluation, not just for commercial animal species, but also for our native species as well. Industry is supporting the next area of research, which is the development of novel feed ingredients. This is a major problem, a major need of the industry today. So napaka-importante na makapag-develop talaga tayo ng effective alternatives. And then we also have research on development of feeding and management systems. And probably another important area of research where we collaborate with industry is feed additive research that is focused on natural alternatives to antibiotics, beta agonists or carcass modifiers, and chemotherapeutic agents. So this leads towards food safety and meat safety, and then the One Health approach. And then finally, development and product commercialization of functional meat products. Okay, so now I'll just focus on some of the few technologies that are mature and ready for commercialization. So this is one of the projects under the pork traceability program, and that is the iDetect kit. This is a PCR-based DNA tested for the detection of animal ingredients in meat products. And this is a kit that can be used for halal. It can also be used for first border control against ASF and other applications. Now, this is a project that it's very close to commercialization, so we would very much appreciate if you would have interest on this. Another important program that we have been very involved in is the Itik Pinas program. So from the development of the breed, from the development of feeding systems and marketing, our institution has been very much involved in this. And this has contributed a lot in the development of the duck industry. And then for feed, we have been focusing a lot on alternative feed ingredients. We have a long list of materials here that we have been doing work, and we have been engaging with the industry in the evaluation of these materials. Same is true for the next list. Insect proteins, macroalgae in particular are some of the things that we have been focusing on. And a perfect example of that is the work that we've done very recently on ulvalactucamil, which nakapag-develop po tayo, na-characterize po natin na pwede po natin gamitin ang ating mga seaweed resources as feed material in different species, from aquaculture, broilers, layers, swine, and ruminants. And industry has picked this up, and now it is a material that's helping not just the coastal communities, but the animal industry as well. So with that, thank you very much po, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sulabo. Thank you for introducing us to the linkages that the Institute of Animal Science has initiated or become part of, which gives us a glimpse of how alumni and our friends in the industry can have collaborations with you. Also, I think it was really interesting to hear about the various mature technologies that the Institute has to offer. So ayan mga kaibigan, kung may mga katanungan po kayo tungkol sa mga produkto, sa mga technologies, sa mga services na may offer ng Institute of Animal Science, again, I'm inviting you to type your questions in the Q&A box, and we will get to them pagkatapos po ng lahat ng ating mga presentations. So for our last presentation, our last presenter this morning, we have with us Director Melvin D. Ebuenga. who used to be the Deputy Director of the National Crop Protection Center last year. Afterward, he sits as the Director of NCPC. His fields of specialization include plant disease epidemiology, pest forecasting and simulation, pest monitoring, and surveillance. So let us welcome Director Melvin Ebuenga.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, alumni,
Hello.
and welcome to my presentation. So this is about technologies of the National Crop Protection Center. So these are our new technologies. We have developed many technologies in the past, but I will only tackle the new ones, which I think would be interesting to the industry. So the first one is the plant card PC assay. So this one is developed by Dr. Pinili. So this was developed because we have many virus diseases that are economically important, that are devastating our major crops. And identification of viruses demands the need for DNA or NA extraction. And present systems are cumbersome or not straightforward or very hard to do. So in this case, you just have a plant card and then you put the plant material on that card and you will bring it to the laboratory and do the analysis. So it could reduce the 30 to 38% on virus nucleic acid extraction. It could be applied in the field and for all tissues and also insect or pest vectors. And you can store the DNA or RNA up to 15 years. So it's also easy to transport because it is a card and not requiring hazardous chemicals for extraction. We can directly downstream it to for molecular assay and for characterization. So this technology could, for example, if someone is interested in the history, is that we need to have other plant card other than the available imported brands, or we can do local production of alternative plant cards. So the impact of this technology is that the diagnostic specialist or researcher or student will have a simple, reliable, and fast system for virus dissections, and hence pave the way for faster and efficient pest management. The next technology that we have is the use of biocontrol agents against insect pests. So we, in most cases, maybe up to now, we are overly reliant on pesticides, and so so many negative impacts develop out of this. So there is really a need for environmentally friendly options. So we develop earwigs also. These are and also entomopathogenic fungi, and we have also 4 biological control products for Fusarium race 1 in Latundan under greenhouse conditions and field trials which are still ongoing. So we also have earwigs. These are the insects that they are predators. They eat the eggs, the larvae of insect pests. And we also use the diatomaceous earth. We found out that it also effective against the fall armyworm. And the 2 earwigs, we have already tested them for against fall armyworm in vitro. We have also Metarhizium anisupleae and Buberia bassiana. We have already mass-produced them and cost-effective liquid media and substrate. So the advantages of biocontrol agents is that it is cost-effective, it is not harmful to the environment and to the users. And the challenge for us is that we have limited study on shelf life, formulation, and packaging. So the commercialization stage, we have not yet tackled them. We have only doing some initial researches on this, but because we are all entomologists, plant pathologists with scientists in the center, maybe somebody should help us in this aspect. Yeah, the viable collaboration efforts with the industry is that the industry could assist us in the commercialization of these products. So the impact of this technology is more eco-friendly pest management options to our farmers and less health hazards for the consumers. Another technology that we developed is the carrageenan plant growth promoter. We developed this with the PNRI. We just tested its effect, but the PNRI developed the technology. So we need natural foliar fertilizer so that the farmers would not be too reliant on inorganic fertilizer sources. So carrageenan plant growth promoter is a natural foliar fertilizer extracted from the seaweeds. So they extract underwent irradiation, causing it to be readily absorbed by the plant. So the carrageenan could induce resistance against pests and diseases in rice, and of course it could increase yield from 15 to 30%. So the advantages is that it is all natural, it strengthens the crop stems, it promotes resistance to pests and diseases, and also increase yield. So up to now, this is only registered in rice and with limited area of commercialization. So maybe the industry could expand the technology's application to other crops. So the impact of this technology is that more natural fertilizer options for farmers and less pest management inputs as the crop is provided with pest resistance and therefore more farmers' income. Another technology that we developed just recently, funded by the Bayanihan 2 program, was the remote monitoring of transboundary plant pests. So, pests don't recognize boundaries, and climate change makes what matters worse. So early detection and monitoring of their presence is done manually by DA technicians on sample monitoring fields. So RETRAP is a novel approach in detecting pests and assessing its damage using drones and multi-spectral sensors to evaluate crop health in a large scale. So the advantages of this is that there is the assessment of pest damage is more precise, and because it flies for long distances, it covers more significant areas in a fraction of the time compared to monitoring the pest damages by a person. So it reduces time spent by technicians and farmers in the field. So in this case, what the industry could do is that equipment suppliers and manufacturers, academic institutions, and natural agencies can tie up to increase knowledge in agricultural drones to set up policies and standards and to promote the drones' advantages to the local stakeholders. So as the drone technology advances in the future, maybe it would be very affordable. So the impact of this technology, there is more precise and efficient pest monitoring, covering more areas surveyed or monitored, and more timely and early pest or disease detection, and faster and timely application of pest management solutions to pest problems. Another one is the rapid test kit for pesticide residues. So pesticide misuse is the cause of health problems for vegetable or fruit consumers. So there must be a way of testing organic products if they are really so as claimed to be inorganic pesticide free. So this RTK is a tool developed for the detection of the toxic and commonly used group of pesticides like the organophosphates and carbamates on selected vegetables. So the advantages of this is that it is cost effective, of course, and easy to use, and quickly determines pesticide residues, and thus it promotes food safety. So we could have also viable collaboration with the industry if they could assist us in the commercialization of the RTK. Maybe we can improve it and make a product that could be used by ordinary supermarket users, or if you are the one you are not sure of the pesticide content of your vegetable, then you can just maybe put some drop of the RTK, and then it will tell you if there is a pesticide in the product. So organic producers and consumers will have a reliable means of detecting the presence of pesticides in organic claimed vegetables and fruits. And pesticide misuse can be determined with solid proof and thus lessened if not prevented. So the last technology that I will present is the Speed Tech. It is a smartphone-based pest identification system. So the pest identification, of course, is a very specialized and technical skill. And we need an accurate pest ID so that we could effectively control the pest. SpeedTech is, this one is free. It's a free software. It's a software for mobile phones, but it is only for the Android phones. It is easy to use. You just, an option is that you just get a picture of the pest, or if you see the pest, just picture it, and then it will give you the ID of the pest and suggest pest management options. With the industry, we can revise and extend the pest that the present version could identify. So it is only limited to pests of rice, corn, banana, cacao, coffee, tomato, coconut, sugarcane, and soybean pests at present. So we could extend it to vegetables or like and mango also. So as I have said, it's only for Android phones as of now, and this industry collaboration could extend it to iOS or the Apple's operating system and other future operating systems. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director Ebuenga. Thus, the technologies from NCPC on how we can take better care of our crops and its impact on not just the environment, but also on the agricultural industry. So napakarami po ninyong senior sa amin. Maraming salamat. At ngayon, mga kaibigan, gusto nating magpasalamat sa lahat ng ating mga presenters. Thank you very much for sharing with us, highlighting your institutions and your technologies and services. You have certainly answered the question given to us by President Baradas this morning. Ano ang maipagmamalaki ng UPLB? You have certainly answered that through your presentations. Pero alam niyo mga kaibigan, napakarami pong tanong at na-excite na ang mga tao. From the very first presentation, we have been receiving a lot of questions. And so may I invite everyone now for our Q&A. Ayan. So, ang dami pong mga tanong dito sa akin, nahihilo na nga ako kasi kung saan-saan nanggagaling ang tanong, no? Merong dito sa Q&A box, and then we have from Facebook, and then there are direct messages to me for you, our panelists. And so siguro let us begin with, okay, let me first check my kodigo. Nilista ko po dito sa aking kodigo. Ay, before the question, pwede po bang basahin ko muna yung mga comments ng ating mga kaibigan who are watching? So let me read it first kasi pampasaya. Maganda po ang kanilang mga comments. So here is a comment from Facebook, from Rama S.J. Maldia, from CFNR. Sabi niya, good morning. One-stop shop na lang po talaga ang kulang. So these products of UPLB will be readily available to everyone. Also, we can offer these to our visitors para hindi naman puro buko pay lagi ang inihahain at ipinapabaon at pinapasalubong. So more power to all of us. Thank you po sa nakakatakam na presentation ng UPLB products. Ayan. So, isa pong comment. Isa pa po. Can I read this comment first? This is from Ma'am Rina Tan de Luna. She said the UP Professional School for Agriculture and Environment is excited to bring the Master in Animal Nutrition program to Mindanao next year. Ayan. So naalala ko kanina binanggit ni Dr. Sulabo na mas marami ang graduate students ng Institute of Animal Science kesa sa undergrad. And so I think that is a strength of the institute. Okay, so let's have the first question. This is I think addressed to everyone. So maaari pong lahat tayo ay sumagot dito. Ang tanong ay, how do we access the technologies and other UPLB products and services? So mukhang tagalabas po ang nagtanong. So kung tagalabas ka, anong gagawin mo para ma-access mo yung technologies, products, and services of UPLB? So who wants to start? Nakangiti na si Ma'am Fe. Mukhang gusto na ni Ma'am Fe. Okay. Okay lang ba in order of appearance yung ating order po ng presentation? Sige po, Ma'am Fe.
Okay. So good morning po doon sa ating question. Yung pong products ng IPB ay available for everyone. Kung may mga gusto po kayo, just write us. And then willing po kami to accommodate your request. Kahit saan pa man po kayo naroon. We will accommodate whatever your request is. Kung gusto niyo po ng mga seeds from IPB, kahit po kayo'y taga saan, we will send you the seeds. Or kung ano pa man po yung mga technologies na gusto niyong i-access, andito lang po kami. Madali naman po kaming ma-connect. Madali po kayo makakonect sa amin through FB. Meron po ang IPB na FB page. And lagi po itong ready, and we're always willing to answer your queries.
Yes.
Ma'am Lotis?
Okay po. So thank you po. My safest answer is actually to coordinate with the Tech Transfer and Business Development Office of UPLB, because especially for us, our technologies we have applied for the utility model, and it will be safe also for the interested stakeholder na sa inyo po, mabigyan po kayo ng material transfer agreement. Although since we are in the government po, non-exclusive agreement naman po yung ino-offer namin dito sa UPLB. So my suggestion is we have very accommodating staff at the UPLB TTBDO, and they will definitely coordinate with us whatever your queries are. But just like what
Ma'am, parang
explain to you and to offer to you mechanics.
Okay. Sir Dr. Sulabo?
Yeah, other than the forms already mentioned by Doc Fe and Doc Lotis, one way also is to directly communicate either through the director's office or even through the researcher in charge. That's been true for many of the work that we've done. Yung mga interested parties would often contact us, and that would often start the ball rolling. So that could also be one way.
Director Ebuenga po?
For SpeedTech, the mobile pest identification technology. It is already, you can download it in Google Play or Apple Store or whatever. For the other technologies, I think you just go to our Facebook naman ang NCPC under the CAPS or UPLB website. So, pwede naman kami kontakin doon, or kung gusto nyo halimbawa mga earwigs, yung mga biocontrol agents, kung medyo pwede naman kayong dumiretso sa NCPC, medyo maluwag naman ngayon, di ba? Although doon lang kayo sa labas kasi mahigpit ang ating homes. And then another option sa iWeb, meron din namang mga biocon agents doon sa iWeb. Mas malapit kasi yun sa biosci lang. NCPC kasi malayo. Andito kami malapit sa biotech at IPB. Yun lang siguro, proper communication lang sa atin para ma-communicate din, makontak kami.
Okay, maraming salamat po. So maraming paraan para makontak itong mga institutions that we have introduced this morning. Ayan, at maaari tayong connect sa kanila. So let me now go to our Q&A box kasi marami pong tanong dito sa Q&A box. In fact, kanina there were questions that have already been answered dahil tinanong at sinagot na ng ating panelists. But let me now read some of the questions here. This is for Dr. Sulabo, and this is from Sir Isias Lomanta. Do we have research on rendered byproducts such as feather meal production, improving on its quality? Very few of our feathers are rendered. Improving its quality with addition of needed amino acids, enzymes, and proper processing will help the high cost of imported protein sources. And the impact of this is going to be huge for the feed industry. Dr. Sulabo?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. That's from one of our pillars in animal nutrition, Dr. Boylomanta. Yes, sir. Actually, we have done some work in the past involving hydrolyzed feather meal and also process optimization on the development of this material. And currently, actually, we have been working with San Miguel Foods. We have some discussions on characterization and evaluation of the feather meal products that are being produced from the different rendering plants. So meron po tayong efforts in really in working on rendered byproducts. Hindi lang siguro sa feather meal but also on blood products. So again, this is part of our intent in helping industry identify alternatives that we can use to replace materials that are very expensive right now, tulad ng soybean meal. So if we want to detach ourselves from importing more soybean meal, that could be one way, is by using yung mga rendered byproducts that is already available locally.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sulabo. Ito naman pong susunod na tanong ay para sa ITB. Galing po ito sa Facebook. At siya po ay taga Masaya Bay, Bae, Laguna, from Rory de los Reyes. Ang tanong po niya ay, do you have papaya varieties resistant to bunchy top? Yung po bang maninilaw muna yung newer young leaves? Backyard lang naman po, pero hindi kami makapagpatuloy ng papaya dahil sa umpisa maganda tapos namamatay lang at no definite stage. So minsan kung kailan may bunga na. So yun po ang kanyang tanong, Ma'am Fe, para po sa inyo itong tanong na ito.
So thank you po for that question. Actually, hindi po bunchy top ang tawag doon sa sakit na iyon. Wala pong bunchy top sa disease ang papaya. Pero right now, we're investigating on that disease kasi po sobrang na siya widespread. And we have started our research on that and wala pa po talagang definite na causal organism. And hindi lamang po kayo talaga yung nagsasuffer dyan, hindi lang yung inyong mga tanim, even po yung aming nandito sa experimental areas. So ngayon po I cannot I cannot tell you the causal organism, but we are working on that. And after identifying the causal organism, or even kung ito po ay insect pest, we will do some evaluation of our germplasm materials and breeder seeds para ma-identify po namin kung may resistance tayo doon sa sakit na iyon. Sobra pong nagiging serious and widespread nga po itong sakit na ito, kung ito man po ay talagang sakit. Ayun, ma'am, we'll keep you posted regarding our findings. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ito pong susunod na tanong para po sa lahat ito, I think. May mga nagtatanong dito, mga ordinary consumers daw sila, paano naman nila ma-access yung mga technologies na ino-offer ng ating mga institution? For ordinary consumers po. Simulan natin kay Ma'am Lotis siguro.
Kami yata yung medyo madaling i-access kasi products. Kaya sinimulan ako ni Ma'am Mildred. Okay. Anyway po, so as I've said, if you are a smallholder po, na interesado po sa mga technologies ng IFST, I think we do have those technical services, okay, and product sa IFST po, peculiarity namin sa product development. Okay, so we can help you with our researchers po and resource person na maybe design a product that will suit your need po.
Okay.
Tapos, and then including the budgetary requirements, and then we will help you po with the design of your product or services man.
Sir Mr. Ebuenga, Director Ebuenga po.
I think for directly do sa consumers, yung technology namin na pwede ay siguro yung mga biocontrol agents. Ginagawa namin ng paraan na kumbaga tipong style Shopee o Lazada na lang. Pwede namang, ang problema lang kasi yung pag-package, paano halimbawa yung earwig, buhay yun eh. Paano mo siya ipapackage na tatanggapin ng LBC or JT Express o yung ganun. Kaya medyo ginagawan pa rin namin ng paraan na yun nga, kasi nga pandemic eh. Kailangan talagang magawa natin ng paraan na ating mga technology ay makarating doon sa mga consumers.
Sir Rommel?
Well, sa amin talaga, we really believe that research is not complete until there is adoption. So we're very, very sensitive. We really want to make sure na whatever technology na ma-develop, kailangan ma-communicate sa ating mga users or potential stakeholders. So we've had many programs kung saan talagang pinapaliwanag natin, pinapaliwanag natin yung mga technologies na na-develop natin para immediate pwede nang i-adapt or pwede nang i-adapt yung technology ng mga users. Siguro wala naman kaming products na directly into the consumers except maybe for our meat products. So meron din tayong mga dine-develop din po na mga produkto. So obviously pwede siya makuha o mabili to our meat shop, that's one. Pero ang ating meat science group what is also very active in sharing the technologies. Marami tayong mga naging programa na involved ang mga OFW, mga mothers na interested into meat processing as a business enterprise. So again, papasok doon yung extension services of public service program ng institution. So I think that's one way that we can really communicate it down to the consumers.
Okay, thank you po. Ma'am Fe, paano raw ang mga ordinary consumers, how can they access your technologies from IPB, ma'am?
Okay. Ma'am, meron po kaming National Seed Foundation dito sa Institute. So kung dito lang po kayo sa neighboring barangays or towns. Available po ito anytime. Open po ang aming National Seed Foundation from 7 to 4. So kung gusto niyo pong ma-avail yung mga seeds and other technologies like aming SNAP, available po ito. And kung medyo malayo po kayo, lalo na po yung mga taga ibang islands, Visayas or Mindanao, hindi pa po namin napapackage yung SNAP natin in a way na pwede pong ipadala sa LBC na safe. At yun nga po, tulad ng problema hindi ng problema, ng challenge ng NCPC, yun pa po ang ginagawa namin ng solution. And we're looking for collaborators who can package this SNAP hydroponics in a way na pwede po siyang pwedeng powder form or in any other form na madaling i-ship from Laguna to other parts of the country. Kasi ang dami na po talagang interested. Ayun.
Ma'am, may nagtatanong po ma'am tungkol sa SNAP. Pwede ba daw kayong magbigay ng suggested retail price para sa SNAP?
Ma'am, meron naman po kasi po para nga mas mabilis yung dissemination ng technology na to, may mga resellers po tayo. Pero ang sabi namin sa reseller, it should be yung pong ating bottles ay dapat yung kit natin ay 295 lang. It should not go beyond that. So, yun po. Kung sobra na po yan, i-report nyo lang po sa sa aming extension and business development division. Titigil po
ayan.
natin.
O doon po sa nagtanong ha, narinig nyo ang sinabi ni Ma'am Fe. Okay, we have a question from the office, nanggagaling po sa Office ng Chancellor mula po sa UPLB Alumni Association. Yes, President Baradas.
Well, gusto ko lang po sagutin kanina yung nagtanong tungkol doon sa papaya at saka sa saging. Well, hindi naman masyado kahaba ng exposure ko sa pest and disease control. I just worked for 38 years sa saging sa Davao. Yun yung papaya, normally, lalo na yung sinta, ang number one problem dyan ay kung kailan nabunga ay saka nagkakaroon ng green leaf virus. So yun ang mahirap kontrolin. So ayun doon sa mga maliliit na nagtatanim, mga pa isang hektarya hanggang 5, ay natuklasan na nila ngayon kung paano kinokontrol yung papaya leaf green virus. Ang gagamitin nyo lamang ay calcium nitrate. Hindi ho potassium nitrate. Ang potassium nitrate ito ay pampabunga ng mangga. Ito ay calcium nitrate. Nabibili po ito 2,500 per 25 kilogram bag. So ang ginagamit ho nila pagtanim ay 1 pinch lang, 1 pinch. Hindi na ho nila sinusukat in terms of grams. Basta dalawang daliri lang, 1 pinch. After a month, 3. So palaki ng palaki. So you'll be surprised, meron nung maliit ditong taniman, 5 hektarya sa Talavera, Nueva Ecija. Ang pinagmamalaki ng may-ari ay kapag ako daw ay nakakita ng green leaf virus, ay tatabasin niya ang buong plantasyon niya. So totoo, wala ho talagang green leaf virus. At ito ay inirekomenda ko dito sa isa nagtatanim sa Laguna. And when he found out na very effective yung aking recommendation ng calcium nitrate, ay sabi siya akin pare, baka naman pwedeng huwag mo muna sabihin sa mga iba nagtatanim ng papaya. Para siya lang ho may papaya sa the whole year round. So, calcium nitrate lang po ang gamot sa leaf green virus. Ngayon, pag nagtanim naman kayo ng local na papaya, yung maliliit, ay hindi ho nakakasakit. So happy yung ating sinta na maganda, masarap, maganda ang quality, ay siya naman gustong-gustong atakihin. Ikalawa, yun pong saging. Normally ho, hanggang dito sa Luzon, ay napakarami hong tanim na saging kasi mahal ngayon ang saging. You'll be surprised. Sa amin sa Tanawan, it costs to 40 pesos per kilo ng lakatan. So marami ho na napapassionate na magtanim ng lakatan. Pero pag kayo ay bumili ng lakatan na galing sa tissue culture, maximum ho niyan ay 1.5 years lamang. 2 cropping season lang kayo ubos, patay na uupod. Ang rason ho ay very susceptible sa pests and diseases yung tissue culture ng lakatan. While if pag nagtanim kayo ng local na lakatan ay tumatagal ho ng 5 hanggang 10 taon. Kaya lang maliliit ang ang yield, no? Unlike yung tissue culture na galing sa Davao, they are selling it for 15 to 25 pesos per puno. Yun ho ay very susceptible sa sakit ho na sigatoka. So ang gamot ho sa sigatoka at saka doon sa banchitap, una-una ay kinakailangan ho ay i-maintain nyo ng 4 na puno lamang per hill. Kasi very prolific ho yung lakatan. Bakit yun? Natutuwa yung iba na 10 puno sa isang hill. Ay natutuwa sila para marami rahong ma-harvest. Pero dapat ho ay 3 to 4 lamang i-maintain. So pag hindi nyo ginawa yun, magiging susceptible ho siya sa pests and diseases. At ikala ho, yung banchitap, ayan ho ay very common na sakit ng saging, lalo na sa lakatan. Ang gagawin nyo lamang ay pagka kayo mag-i-equal sa inyo sagingan, ay hindi kayo naninigarilyo. Kasi yun ho sa sigarilyo yan eh. Ang banchitap ho ay dala ng aphids galing ho sa abaka, kung meron kayong abaka. Kung meron kayong kamatisan, meron kayong sili sa tabi, ayun ho ang nagkukos ng aphids. No? At yan ho ay, ang tawag dito sa Luzon ay napupuril. Yung hindi lumalaki ho ang puno. Lumiliit ang dahon, nagkakaroon ng mga yellow leaf streak. So ang gagawin nyo lamang ay huhukayin, tatabasin, huhukayin. At kung meron kayong ipa, ay lagyan nyo ng ipa. Lagyan ng gas o kerosene at sindihan. Yun lamang ho ang tanging pang-control ng sakit na yan ho. Hindi ho kaya yan ng mga insecticide. So yun ho lamang ang aking may papayo doon sa nagtanong kanina kung bakit kung kailan namumunga ay saka nagkakasakit. So yun po ang dahilan. Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Baradas. O, di ba mga kaibigan, marami na tayong natututunan kung anong mga technologies yung pwede nating magamit sa ating mga businesses, but also the technologies that come from our researches and what we have been doing in UPLB. Kagaya nga ng sinishare ni Captain Baradas, ito daw yung kanilang mga napag-aralan para masagot yung nagtanong kanina tungkol sa sakit ng saging, di ba?
Ma'am,
Yes,
pwede po
Ma'am Fe.
Ako, gusto ko lang pong dagdagan yung kay Captain Baradas na information. Ano po, dito po sa IPB, meron pong na-develop na lakatan varieties na may resistance po sa BBTV. So, all you have to do po ay, meron pong 5 varieties dito. Ang kailangan lang po ay multi-line approach. Pag bili nyo po, halo-halo na po yon kasi iba-iba po yung resistance na na-develop. Parang yung isa ay may resistance sa kanyang insect vector, yung Pentalonia nigronervosa. Yung isang line naman may resistance sa virus multiplication. So pag nag-approach po kayo at gusto nyong mag-avail ng tissue culture planting materials, ibibigay po sa inyo ay mix na varieties. Para dito po nakita namin, Sir Manny, na yung mga varieties na ito, kasi ang lakatan usually hanggang 2 generations. Yung susunod talaga nagsusukom na sa infection. Ito po ay nakita namin na even several generations, hindi po madaling bumagsak ang ating mapilak lakatan. Kaya magkakaroon po talaga ng karagdagang pilak growers. Thank you, sir.
Ayan. Meron pa pong magtatanong mula sa OC, nandun sila ngayon. Pero gusto ko lang pong banggitin kasi there was this question about whether we're going to continue with the Technology Hub. Meron po tayong UPLB Technology and Trade Fair on November 6 as part of the UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit 2021 at the Techno Hub and the one-stop shop of the university. That's beside the Baker Hall. O, ayan po. Para po dun sa nagtatanong kanina, meron po tayong UPLB Technology and Trade Fair on November 6. Ayan, meron pong gustong sabihin ang SEAT Alumni Association President na si Sir Tabanao. Go ahead po, sir.
Yeah, my question is directed towards Institute of Animal Science and the College of Veterinary Medicine. I've been monitoring this African swine fever for so long, and yet I haven't heard from these colleges what have they done to control this African swine fever. one of the causes of increase in meat products is due to African swine fever. Why? I haven't heard from them. If ever we can offer something from the UP Los Baños. Huh? We have here, the main agenda is what UPLB can offer. What did the College of Veterinary Medicine and Institute of Animal Science offered to Department of Agriculture to control this? As of now, there are still cases of African swine fever in various parts of the country. That's all. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Any answer from Institute of Animal Science or the Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine?
Siguro ako na
Dr. Sulabo.
makakapagsagot, ano? I think Dean Jesse is not here. Yeah, we are African swine fever is definitely a very serious challenge, ano. Ako po ay isang swine nutritionist. So I know very well kung ano yung naging impact ng African swine fever to our industry, and I've been working with a lot of our industry partners from the very beginning. Nung ang options pa lang talaga natin is prevention, yung trying to control the spread of the virus until nandito na at nag-spread na nga siya. It's very clear that the main challenge natin sa ASF is the lack of any vaccine, because wala talagang other way of preventing ASF contamination. Kung titingnan lang po namin sa field sa animal science, ang magiging role talaga namin is on the biosecurity plans and then on animal feed biosecurity, na talagang naging major point of discussion po namin from the start. Meron po tayong mga naging efforts na i-train at educate yung ating mga feed mills at ating mga farms when it comes to the possibility of animal feed as a vector of the virus. Pero yun nga ho, tayo ay parang dinalampasan na natin yon dahil nga ang naging problem po talaga natin is naging widespread ang devastation ng ASF. Yun po yung naging hudyat, yun po yung naging dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng committee that focused on this, at yan rin po naging inspiration to develop yung National Zoonosis Center. At ang challenge po kasi rin natin pagdating sa pag-aaral ng mga viruses tulad ng ASF is meron po siya mga specific talaga na facilities na kinakailangan for you to be able to really study kung paano natin siya mape-prevent o paano natin mamimitigate yung virus, which right now ay wala tayo. At in reality po, marami pong bansa sa mundo ay wala rin. Kaya ang ASF ay talagang global problem at hindi lang po natin problem. So kaya ang natin ngayon is ano yung initiatives natin para ma-push natin na para hindi ito mangyari in the future, itong mga zoonotic diseases tulad ng ASF. So, although huli yung ating zoonosis center dahil nandito na yung virus, pero ang intention naman natin ay meron tayong efforts, very aggressive efforts in assuring na makaka-respond tayo in future pandemics.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sir Rommel. Meron pa pong tanong dito for you as well. Ito naman ay galing sa ating Q&A box. The question is from Dr. Boy Lumanta. Do we have research on the use of insects as source of protein and amino acids for animal feeds? Because there's a worldwide development on this. Singapore is not noted for agriculture, but it has 5 startups on insects for feeds and foods. This is a consistent product which could change feed production. It's now heavily used in pet food and aquaculture. Dr.
Yes, Dr. Lamanta, actually this was a discussion habang umaakyat kami ni Chancellor Camacho sa Laguna Land Grants. I was with the director of IWEP discussing about this. But yes, we've had initial efforts in developing insect meal as a material, particularly black soldier fly larvae meal. So meron na po tayong projects na nagsimula in the development of local material that we can use. And then part na rin nun is yung process optimization. But clearly, yes, marami po tayong interested talaga sa insect products because in the European Union, meron na talagang regulations to include insect meal in all diets, not just in aqua feeds. So again, this is part of our initiative in looking for alternatives kasi nga ang thinking po natin, future thinking hat, kung ilalagay po natin, we really believe that animal feeds in 2 or 3 decades from now will not be the same as how it would be today. So inuunahan na po natin yan. So we know that the future diets will not be corn, soybean meal-based diets. So hinahanapan na natin ang kapalit ng mais, hinahanapan na po natin ang kapalit ng soybean meal para future ready po ang ating programa pagdating sa mga alternative materials tulad po ng insect meal.
Okay, thank you po, Dr. Sulabo. Ito pong susunod na tanong ay para po sa lahat. At let me read it for you. This is an anonymous question for the panelists. In your opinion, how much space should UPLB allot in its portfolio of R&E activities in targeting to impact the development of marginalized farm household enterprises, which do not necessarily call for cutting-edge technologies, but those with greater usability and higher potential for broad adoption, vis-a-vis responding to cutting-edge technology demands of the other more dominant industries. So the question is, paano natin ipaprioritize? How much should we invest in the portfolio na for the marginalized farm household enterprises as compared to the technology demands of the other more dominant industries? Ayan. Pwede po ba tayong magsimula sa ladies again? Okay lang ba? Unahin na natin si Ma'am Fe ngayon po.
Okay.
Ma'am Fe?
Oo. So, ang IPB po naman ay we cater not only for people na sabi nga with high incomes. We cater for our farmers, di po ba? Yung aming mga seeds ay hindi lamang po ay talagang aim po namin is to reach our yung mga nasa marginal areas. So for us, in terms of support ba, sinasabi Ma'am Mildred?
Yes, ma'am.
Opo. Siguro yun ang isa naming concern in terms of support. Right now, what we have is, what we do is we solicit or we submit proposals to DA and PCARD para po magawa namin itong mga activities namin para ma-meet yung needs ng ating marginal people. And in terms of resources that we need, the university is providing us enough salary and enough funds para mag-conduct ng mga yung research namin. But we continue to seek for more. Ayun, parang hindi ko ma-identify kung gaano pa yung kailangan namin. But right now, what we do is whatever we have, we try to deliver para ma-meet namin yung needs ng aming stakeholders. And yun nga, through the help naman ng DA and other DOST, nagagawa po naman namin na ma-deliver.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am Lotis?
Yeah, okay. I'll just follow through what Ma'am Fe said. So through the help of agencies like DOST po, we're able to reach out to the marginalized sectors po. So through the intervention of the provincial offices of DOST po, we reach out to our small cooperatives, small stakeholders po throughout the country po ito ha, through our webinars and training programs po. So I think as far as offering it to our smallholders po, we do it together in collaboration with our line agencies po or our other LGUs po. Kasi po sila po talaga yung nandun sa grassroots at nakakaintindi po ng pangangailangan po ng mga smallholders po natin.
Okay, Director Ebuenga po.
Well, palagay ko halimbawa dahil mga researchers tayo, dapat siguro yung mga topics o mga topics na gagawin natin dapat manggaling doon sa mga marginal ano ba yung tawag yan mga nasa laylayan, di ba? Kasi minsan kasi ang kinakandak nating research kung ano lang ang sasabihin ng PICARD, anong sasabihin ng DA-BAR, parang doon lang tayo nagpo-focus. Pero maganda siguro kung meron tayong, kumbaga, makausap natin sila. Ano ba talaga problema nila para na-address natin kaagad. Halimbawa ito, yung minsan kaya kinontak namin yung mga nagtatanim ng bulaklak diyan sa Mayundon at Bayog. Parang minsan nagtatampo sila ay napakalapit nila sa UPLB, minsan hindi naman daw sila natutulungan. Kaya inalam namin kung ano yung mga problema nila sa pagbubulaklak, ginawa namin ng kunting study or research. Maybe pwede naman sa Corpand kung kakayanin o kaya parang isakay doon sa mga present research para merong direct impact agad doon sa mga taong nangangailangan.
Thank you po, Director. Dr. Sulabo?
Yeah, sa akin talagang farmers should always be in our minds, particularly our smallhold farmers. So when we think of research programs that we would like to do, sino yung kailangan ba nating tulungan? Kaya isa sa talagang ginagawa ng ating institution is really to link up with our farmers groups. So talagang ito yung opportunity natin to directly hear the challenges and the needs of the smallhold producers. For example, this coming Friday ay magkakaroon po tayo ng isang malaking ruminant production forum. In just 2 days, napuno agad yung webinar. 1,000 participants, mga farmers po to, no? So, itong mga activities, ito yung nagiging opportunity natin na magkaroon ng direct communication between us as a research and academic unit and our farmers. At yun ang nagiging inspiration natin ngayon sa pag-develop ng mga programa na talagang makakatulong sa kanila.
Ayan, thank you po. So dun po sa nagtanong, wag po tayong mag-alala dahil hindi nakakalimutan. At kailanman hindi makakalimutan ng UPLB ang ating smallholders. Ayan. Sir, nilast kita, Dr. Sulabo, kasi may tanong dito para sa iyo Para kasunod na. Actually, it's a question and a comment, and this is from Habito. ASF is the biggest source of our higher overall inflation rate right now, twice of what it was last year, because inflation in meat alone is 25%. Aside from vaccine development, how can IAS and DVM help BAI control the spread more effectively? Zoonosis is more forward-looking, but what about the problem that is here and now? Things like improved biosecurity protocols, banning of sale of ASF-tainted meat, etc. are what is needed.
Yep.
So ano po ang masasabi natin doon sa comment and question ni Dr. Habito?
I agree that there are other things that we can do to prevent further spread of the virus. Ano? At actually, that's an area that I think we as an institution have done. Ano? So marami po tayong mga naging activities na nagbabahagi tayo ng mga pamamaraan kung paano natin ma-ensure na makakapag-repopulate tayo more effectively or mape-prevent natin ang contamination ng mga farms. So that's one. On our part, meron din tayong direct link sa mga both smallhold and large producers themselves. Ano? So ang kalimitan discussion na natin ngayon is dahil nga dito po sa Luzon ay malaki talaga ang naging tama eh. Right now, probably more than half of the total swine population in Luzon is gone. Ano? So kaya kung sino na lang yung natitira, very, very few na lang. Ano? At usually nasa norte na yan, wala na masyado yan sa south. Ano? Kaya ang attention ng karamihan ngayon sa mga nagbababoy sa atin ay paano sila makakabalik. Ano? Kasi given na, nandito na yung virus, marami po tayong mga regions, provinces na talagang on the red zone. So ang attention natin ngayon ay focused on how we can effectively repopulate. Ano? At yun yung nagiging focus natin ngayon. So we are helping producers in developing their biosecurity plans to ensure na hindi sila tatamaan o hindi sila babalikan ng virus. Tinitignan din natin kung ano yung magiging nutritional and management strategies to ensure na mas magiging profitable yung operation nila despite the challenge of ASF. But the reality there talaga is the only way that we can survive this, yun ang yan ang ating discussion normally eh. Hindi na po ano yung magiging optimum. Ang pinag-uusapan na natin dito is the survival of the swine industry. So kaya I think effective repopulation strategies, that would probably be a major area of concern for us to have a vibrant industry na umarigay natin yung vibrancy ng ating swine industry in the future.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's good to hear yung mga ginagawa natin para mabuhay at maging mag-thrive ulit ang ating swine industry. Meron naman pong tanong ngayon para ito po, I think this is for Ma'am Lotis. The question is from FB. At ito po ay galing kay Jacob Alcarde Gonzalez. Meron na po bang researches in addressing wastewater treatment, lalo na sa high-fat oils and grease? Okay. Ma'am Lotis, tama ba? Sa inyo po yata ito addressed.
Tingin ko po ay mas kaya po yan ng Chemical Engineering Department kasi sila po ang into the treatment of wastewater po. Pero on our end po, we have a portion of our degree program in food engineering that actually teaches our student on wastewater treatment. Yun po. So, yun lang po aking masasabi kasi po I think I'm not the authority to tell everyone how to deal with the wastewater treatment po.
Okay, thank you ma'am. Thank you for that honest answer. Meron naman pong tanong naman po para kay Ma'am Fe. Ito po ay galing kay Paz Cotamora. For Dr. Fe, how can we access information on protocols for banana tissue culture?
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. So how can you access the protocol for banana tissue culture? Ma'am ba or sir?
Ma'am po, pass.
Ma'am, pass. We offer trainings po para sa tissue culture ng banana. So if you want to avail of this protocol, please contact the institute. Pwede po ako ang i-message niyo po and then I will forward you to our tissue culture laboratory through or if you can also communicate with Dr. Oli Damasco, who is in charge of banana tissue culture laboratory. So, available na po itong mga protocols na to. So, tawag lang po kayo or text.
Yan. Thank you, ma'am. Meron naman pong gustong sabihin, comment or question ang ating SEAT Alumni Association President, si Sir Tabanao. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my question is directed to IPB. I used to be with CDCP Farms. CDCP Farms was the first one to produce soya milk. Now, we know the scarcity of soybeans. So what we did, we set aside, we had a 4,000 hectare in Don Carlos Bukidnon. We set aside 100 hectares and grow soybeans. Harvesting soybean is just like harvesting rice. So we had this harvester, and unfortunately, the harvester cannot function efficiently because soybeans do not mature simultaneously. Merong iba diyan gatas pa, yung iba medyo mature na. And if we wait for the rest to mature, yung ibang bunga nalalaglag. So that's why that was our problem. So ngayon, ang mga producer ngayon ng soya milk, they still import soybeans from abroad. Now, what have we done to improve the variety of soybeans in order to mature simultaneously? Hindi yung paisa-isa. Labor is quite expensive, so we need to mechanize the harvesting of soybean to support the production of soya milk.
At nga po, recent releases natin, they have, yung kung maturity po nila ay sabay-sabay. Kasi nga po,
yan ang problema.
Hindi sabay-sabay. If you can contact us, we can give you the list or even seeds of those varieties na merong uniform ang kanilang maturity. Meron po tayong soybean breeder na talaga ang focus po ay to improve our varieties. And I'm so glad to hear na meron po tayong ganyang kalaking production area. So, kami sir, at ready po kami to help you. Para naman po yung ating soybean industry ay talagang mag-grow.
Sa taho. May suggestion ako, Chancellor.
Pwede ko sa inyo taho.
Can we group the various colleges where technologies are available and put this in isang libro for us to be to access these technologies because right now hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta I think there should be an office where we can access these technologies. Kasi when I was with SEAT before, I used to travel around the country and find out what the problems of the farmers related to equipment, use of equipment. But this time, I think we have so many technologies available, but where do we find them? We don't even know how to call you, where to call you. So if we have this one-stop shop where these technologies are available, my God, madali. Itong ating sinasabing what UPLB can offer, sandali lang ito. That's what I see. If ever we have that one-stop shop. Thank you.
Ang alam ko trabaho ng Picard yan.
May kumugit.
Salamat po sa mga tanong na yan. Ay, yes, ma'am. Ma'am Fe.
If you need po yung seeds ng soybean, please contact us. Meron po tayo available for our regional field offices ng DA. So ready na po ito through the Bayanihan 2 project. Nakapag-produce po ang IPB ng maraming seeds, quality seeds for distribution na po ito.
Okay. napakayaman ang ating diskusyon, ano? Pero kailangan na po nating dumako sa huling tanong. We have one more question. Wag po kayong mag-alala kung may mga katanungan pa kayo. May part 2 pa po ang ating yung series na ito na What Can UPLB Offer? So next week po, maaari pa kayong mag-send ng mga questions. But for now, let me give you the last question. This is again for everyone. Doon po sa mga new products na inyong nasabi na, ano naman po ang inyong mga plano para ma-penetrate ng market? Paano ma-penetrate ng mga products na ito ang market? Okay. Unahin po natin si Director Ebuenga naman. A seniority. Sir, mauna ka na po.
Well, siguro ang problema kasi natin, kasi mga technical people kami, parang kulang sa yung ang commercialization, doon kami nagkukulang. Kaya siguro doon kami matutulungan ng industry o mga alumni, ganon. Tsaka yun nga, dissemination, parang kailangan pa rin natin. Kasi kahit katulong na natin ng DA, mas maganda yung marami pang ibang networks na pwede mag-disseminate ng ating mga technology.
Okay.
And then siguro, improve pa rin natin yung mga technology maging parang user-friendly pa siya para mas marami ang makaka-appreciate, makakagamit.
Okay. Dr. Sulabo po?
Well, for us, from the very beginning, industry-driven kasi ang efforts namin eh. So, ibig sabihin, once the technology is developed, immediate agad ang adoption. So sometimes we just have to maybe explain a little bit more, but most often ginagrasp na agad siya, kinukuha na agad siya ng industry. So I think that is an area that I could consider as a strength ng Institute of Animal Science.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Ma'am Fe and then Dr. Lotis.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, ang IPB po naman ever since, ang target talaga namin ay makaabot kami sa mga farmers natin and growers. So, ang ginagawa po namin ngayon, we partner with RFOs, DA RFOs, and yung ating mga local government units para po mas madaling ma-distribute yung mga technologies. Gusto po namin talaga hindi titigil dito sa aming seed storage ng mga seeds namin, kundi talagang maidala na namin sila. Even po for banana, we have partners with Quezon banana growers para po naman yung kanilang banana production ay ma-improve. So we partner with them in terms of lakatan production. So ganoon naman po ang aming ginagawa, partnership with stakeholders para magamit yung ating mga technologies. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am Lotis po.
Okay, so on our end naman po, the first thing that we did actually to concretize our intention for commercialization is to have our license to operate approved. Okay po, because we are to some extent, a part of the Institute of Food Science and Technology really is involved in processing or food manufacturing. So we have already our LTO from the Philippine FDA with 4 major products of IFST. And these are ready for commercialization for interested stakeholders po. And as a matter of fact, internally within the UPLB community po, we are selling now these products. Okay po. So in terms of our products that we have shown earlier in the video, I'd like to emphasize yung comment ni Dr. Habito in the chat box that these are all prototypes, yes, and this is where we want you, our partners in the industry, our alumni, to reach out to us in order for us to commercialize this prototype. So together with the Business Affairs Office of UPLB, we have already submitted the product description, and they are geared towards doing the market study by Director Nenetco Aquino. And we will help you further in the commercialization through the information that we will be gathering through this market study. And of course, we have the Tech Transfer Office who's helping us with the material transfer agreement naman po. So don't get me wrong, yung aking mga formalities na sinabi po, it's so easy. All you have to do is to reach out for us or to us, and then we will give you po the easiest way by which you can avail of our technologies. Maraming salamat po.
Yan, maraming salamat po. At meron tayong comment at sagot mula naman sa ating UPLB Alumni Association President, Captain Baradas po.
Well, una-una, sasamantayin ko na ang pagkakataon na ito kasi ang ating topic ay what UPLB can offer. So hindi ho lamang sa alumni, kundi sa ating mga graduating students. No? So normally, let's face it, ito ho ang tunay na senaryo kung tayo may mga anak na nag-aaral sa UP Los Baños. Nag-aaral sa UP Los Baños. Unang-una, pagka-graduating student, normally further studies. Kung gusto natin maging dekano, maging professor sa UPLB. Ang ikalawa ho ay employment para makatulong sa mga kapatid at sa pamilya. Pangatlo pa ho yung business. Normally, ang business po ay nakukuha ng ating mga alumni pagka sila ay nagtatrabaho sa isang kumpanya. Nakita nila, madali lang palang gawin, so gagahin lang nila. No? Or kung meron silang nakikita ng mga negosyo sa kapaligiran, sa kanila gagayahin. No? So matagal po yun. It would take 10 to 20 years bago sila makapagnegosyo. So ngayon, bakit hindi natin samantalahin na ang ating mga graduating student, pagka-graduate ay makaisip sila na magnegosyo kung they doesn't want to go on further studies or employment. No? Papaano? Una, siguro let's convince the university na lahat ng graduating students ay ating bigyan ng magandang seminar. Kami ho nila Dr. Cullado, yung ating mga negosyante na alumni ay willing na maging speaker para makumbinsin natin ang ating mga graduating students na magnegosyo na kaagad sila instead na magtatrabaho pa bago pa magnegosyo in the future. No? So paano? Ngayon lamang po namin nalaman na ang College of Food Science, Institute of Food Science ay napakaraming produkto. So, ilan po ang nakakaalam. Even dito sa Alumni University ay hindi alam na napakaraming yung palang produkto na pwedeng gayahin. So, yun ang ating i-offer sa ating mga graduating students. So, kung malaman nila na hindi naman masyadong malaki ang kapital na kinakailangan, so they can start. No? So, isasuggest ko, andiyan naman si Chancellor Dong, siguro gawin natin to. Every graduating student ay kinakailangan umattend ng isang seminar na mga speaker ay katulad natin, no, na mga successful sa kanilang negosyo para makita nila na madaling makabili ng Mercedes-Benz after 5 or 10 years. No? Hindi yung kinakailangan, you have to wait for 15 to 30 years bago ka makabili ng Mercedes-Benz. So ito ho ay kinakailangan ay papaano natin makukumbinsi ang ating mga graduating students na kung hindi naman sila mahilig mag-aral o nagmimiti na maging dekano o maging chancellor sa kolehiyo, ay atin na kagad buksan ang isip nila na ang pera kung gustong tumulong sa pamilya ay nasa negosyo. At narito sa food science ang negosyo na pwede nilang tangkilikin. No? At siguro in the future, kailangan siguro yung food science, i-recommend natin na maging college, hindi na under na UP-CAFS. No? So kasi napakalaki ho ang coverage ay UP-CAFS pala. Kailan natin nalaman, no? So siguro kung i-device natin, gawin natin college yung institute, siguro mas pabor, no? At marami tayong mga estudyante na matutulungan. So in behalf of the UP Alumni Association, ang amin pong minimithi, ang aming objectives ay paano pababalikin ang mga graduate, ang ating mga alumni dito at magkaroon ng kaugnayan sa universidad. Ngayon po ay sasama na natin na hindi lamang kinakailangan alumni, kinakailangan estudyante pa ay atin ng tulungan kung paano sila mapupunta sa magandang pupuntahan ang negosyo. So in behalf siguro of Chancellor Camacho, kami nila Dr. Resti ay nakikiusap na magkaroon tayo ng magandang seminar sa ating mga graduating students para sa ganoon ay itutok natin sila sa ang negosyo ang pinakamagandang puntahan kung ayaw nila ng further studies. Maraming po salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Captain Baradas. Nakakatuwa dito sa ating discussion, no? Kasi napakaraming ideas na nabubuo, a lot of things that we can pursue. Ngayon naman, pakinggan natin kung ano naman ang response ni committee webinar series committee chair. Ayan, ang chair ng ating webinar series committee na si Dr. Rex Navarro.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Actually, hindi pa response ito, Mildred. Gusto ko lang dagdagan yung magandang discussion natin. And in fact, I was saying this privately to the Chancellor. Without preempting Professor Baticados, nakita ko tatlo yung big challenges na hinaharap ng university with all the presentations. And I have three in my reads. I think we really have to revisit our agenda in terms of research, development, and extension. Ang best practice ngayon sa international, I work with the CGIR for more than 10 years, ay yung sinasabi nating impact-oriented and problem-oriented research, development, and extension. Hindi na natin pwede paghiwalayin yung research, development, and extension. Nakita natin sa mga presentations na kasi product yun ng research. Pero I think si Dr. Rommel yata kanina sabi niya, walang silbihan kung hindi gagamitin. So I think the agenda setting should be revisited. And I think we really have to unify the agenda of research, development, and extension. Hindi po pwede magkahiwalay yon. And so if our colleagues in the College of Agriculture are now listening, I think they have a extension summit or something next week. And I really urge them that we have to also see research and development before we go into extension. Inseparable na po yan. In fact, ang term ngayon sa CGIR, research for development na. Okay, so that's one. Ang maganda pong example ay yung ASF, Professor Rommel, no? Talagang nung pag-upo ni Dr. Dar, meron na yung problemang yan. And so kung talagang we are thinking ahead, dapat ay ang university should really be strategic. Dapat nag-isip na tayo kaagad what we can do, at that time, no? That's almost 2 years from now. And of course, nabalitaan siguro ni Mr. Ebuenga yung army worm. Pinoproblema yan ng Department of Agriculture, I think 2 years back. Napaka-basic, marami na po tayo siguro alam doon, but hindi natin siguro na ipaparating sa DA. And the most burning issue now is the rising cost of fertilizer. 1,800 na po per bag. May farm po ako sa Cagayan before RTL. Ay dati ay 800, 900 lang po yan. But 1,800 na. So what are the cost-reducing technologies and integrated management technologies that we can recommend? Siguro we already have the mature technologies, but we need to trace out. So that's number one. Number two ay yung, I was moved by what Mr. Ebuenga said, and I think even Dr. Rommel, no? Reaching out to smallholders. Paano ba natin mapaparating ito, what we can offer? No? It's not only what we can offer to the industry, but what we can offer to smallholders. Majority of our farmers are really smallholders. So ang gaganda po ng ating produkto, so paano natin maipaparating sa kanila? Yung laylayan, Ilocano po kasi sinasabi natin laylayan. I think yung mga nasa marginal parts of society, how can we reach them? And again, this is really a challenge to our extension program. And yes, I think we can do both if we really have vigorous partnerships. Ngayon po ay hindi lamang po siguro sa industry, siguro we can really go down. Kunyari, dun sa Ma'am Lotis, nakita ko kasi many universities, hindi lang sa atin, at saka abroad, yung mga pinapakita po nating food innovation, there are marami po tayong food innovation centers all throughout the Philippines. But hindi naman, parang nalulungkot lang ako kasi nasa eskaparate lang, nandun lang sa loob ng university, hindi po nakakarating sa market. We really have to look forward to that day. I was on the board of regents po ng CSU, Cagayan State U. I was telling them, I will look forward to that day when these products inside our Food Innovation Center will be in the supermarket and even in sari-sari stores. Yung mga pinakita po ninyong produkto talagang napaka-impressive, pero sad to say, talagang kailangan po natin ipalabas. So that's that's one. So I think of course the most immediate partner are the food industries and the other entities doing food commercialization. Kay Ma'am Fe naman, yung seeds po ninyo, binibili ko yan bumibili po ako sa inyo doon sa may building po tayo, yun doon sa medyo malayo po sa ating main building sa IPB. I was one of your pioneer staff po, kami nila Dr. Rommel. Pero, again, kunyari, sa Kalinga, doon sa Maguindanao, I would really look forward for farmers planting those seeds that we have here at IPB. So siguro, how can we partner with seed companies? Yung mga hindi naman kailangan malalaking seed companies katulad ng East West. Yung mga seed companies na nandun sa mga liblib, yung sinasabi po natin. So that's another kind of partnership. At saka open pollinated naman po halos lahat yung ating varieties. I think like myself, I would like to produce, katulad po dito sa garden ko, I'm ready to produce the okra that I bought from you out of the seeds that I have bought from IPB. Doon naman po sa NCPC, ay siguro po ay yung mga regional crop protection centers. No? I think we have a good network before. I'm not very sure now how active are the regional crop protection centers. And most and foremost, including Dr. Rommel, are the local government units. I'm sure everybody has heard about the Mandanas Doctrine. No? Next year, that's going to be pursued. And many resources, much of the resources will be poured to local government units. So for us to really reach the laylayan and the marginalized, we have to partner those institutions in the grassroots, and the most appropriate are local government units. So as again, let me go back to number one. We really have to revisit our RD agenda so that we can be more responsive to current challenges and be able to help really solve current problems of the country. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Navarro. Thank you for reminding us of those challenges na kinakaharap natin. One is for us to revisit our research and extension agenda, and also balikan ang L at L, yung ating mga ginagawa para sa mga tagalaylayan ng lipunan. And the other L is... Nasaan na yung aking isang L? Linkage. Sorry po. Hindi ko nakita ang aking kodigo. Linkage. It's important for us to link with alumni and industry. We need to help each other because our country needs us. Napakaraming challenges at problema. At lahat tayo ay gusto nating iangat ang kalagayan ng ating bansa. Ayan, maraming salamat po, Dr. Navarro. Mga kaibigan, alam ko po marami kayong mga tanong. Kaya lang hindi na po natin kayang accommodate all of your questions now. But as I said, this is only part 1 of our webinar series. Ano ang, hindi pala Tagalog, English pala, what can UPLB offer? And this is just part 1. And we're going to be inviting you again next time, because that's going to be part 2. And then we hopefully will be able to address all of your questions then. Okay, now ngayon naman gusto naman nating marinig mula naman sa ating very active and very forward-looking our visionary chancellor. Let us hear what he has to say about what we have done in all our discussions. So friends, let us welcome Chancellor Jose Camacho Jr. Chancellor.
Thank you, Ma'am Mildred, at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat, lalong-lalo na po ang ating mga alumni, at sa mga participants na nakikinig, at lalong-lalo na rin po sa ating mga panel members. Ang may kasabihan nga po, without vision, we perish. Napaka-impactful ng kasabihang ito. And sa tingin ko po, when we assume leadership, we were very sure of our vision that we have to future-proof the university. And kaya nga po nung tayo ay nakaupo, nung tayo nakaupo na, sinabi natin na ang ating alumni sector ay magiging sandigan ng ating university at magiging kaparte sa visioning exercise na ito in partaking with our vision in future-proofing the university, especially in disseminating our research, in the adoption of our research, in consolidating our research. Malaking pagkiling ko po doon sa research utilization, the utilization of research. Yung po yung sinasabi kanina ni Sir Rex kanina na we have to revisit our paradigm for research, extension, and development. At lahat po itong ginagawa natin since the first series and when we first involved our alumni to forge a strong partnership with the university. Para itong ginagawa natin sa university, itong mga research, itong mga knowledge products, itong mga output na napoproduce ng university, na in the first place, marami dito ay pinupondohan ng taong bayan. And therefore, the products of our research should benefit the welfare of our society, the welfare of our people. Public service is therefore a very important angle in doing research. Kaya po, talagang pinag-isipan po natin na itong Alumni Industry Academe Partnership ay talagang mapalawig, and through these activities that we are doing. Yung consolidation po na ginagawa ho natin, research consolidation or in general consolidation, bilang parte ng ating strategy, especially in this in the consolidation of our knowledge products, itong mga produkto na produce because of our research. So ang efforts na ginagawa na ho natin ay yung pong paggamit ho ng technology hub, yung techno hub na build nung isang taon, at dahil nga lang po sa pandemya ay napahinto. Pero sabi ko nga po sa team, sa ating mga kasamahan, na kailangan operationalize na itong techno hub para maging isang one-stop shop. Kasi wala ho talagang silbi itong techno hub kung hindi ho natin gagamitin. Kaya this is a form of consolidating all the things that we have produced in the university, the products, those knowledge products, na ang gusto sana nating mangyari kapag may tanong, nandiyan na ating mga bisita, nandiyan na ating mga alumni. Yung mga tinanong niyo po kanina, kung makakabisita po ang ating mga alumni, pwede nilang tanungin sa ating mga eksperto na nandun din sa Techno Hub. And this is the reason why yung pong TTBDO, Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, ay kinuha ko na po. Ito po ay ni-restructure ho natin na ito na po ay under the office of the Chancellor. Dati-rati ito po ay under the office of the Vice Chancellor for Research, and then naging sa Vice Chancellor for Planning. Ngayon po ay may consolidation, because of our consolidation efforts, ito na po ay under the office of the Chancellor para talagang kita po kaagad lahat ng pwedeng gawin. At talagang ma-hasten po yung adoption, research utilization, and commercialization of our products. Tama po yung sabi po ni Dr. Rex na ang ating pong mga estudyante, nabanggit din po ni Presidente Manny Baradas, ng ating pong mga estudyante dapat matrained bago pa sila lumabas dito sa university. Na according to itong laging sinasabi mantra ni Dr. Habito, that we train our students to become employers, to create employment, no? Not just mere employees. And we will be having this kind of mindset. And tama po kayo, ang suggestion ko po sa OVCSA na mag-conduct ng isang malawakang seminar para sa ating mga graduates, para talagang idiin itong mindset na ito, na hindi po tayo nagpo-produce ng mga graduates na after ang laging nalalaman lang tungkol sa theories, no, mga perspectives, kundi yung real-time challenges, no, to create employment and to become employers, not as employees. Kaya malaking bagay po yung gagawin nating seminar for our graduates, no? At yun pong mga problema na naiyatang sa atin, bago pa lang po tayo sa administration, nakapunta po dito ang Department of Agriculture Undersecretaries, Chief of Staff si Manong Leo, at nakipag-ugnayan po kami dito sa pagtingin kung anong solusyon ang kagad-agad na maiatang natin sa ASF at saka doon sa problema natin sa mga peste. So nagkaroon kami ng 2 o 3 pagpupulong sa NCPC at sa Veterinary Medicine at sa Institute of Animal Science. I think nabanggit na po ni Dr. Rommel at ni Dr. Ebuenga yung pong mga pag-uusap at yung mga long-term and short-term solutions na pwede natin maihain. Malaking bagay po itong Alumni Industry Academe Summit at minsan sabi ko nga mahirap gisingin yung taong gising. Alam na natin kung ano yung problema pero kung minsan andun pa rin yun sa perspektibo natin na kailangan tayong gisingin. Ano pa bang klaseng paggising ang dapat gawin? No? Kagaya nitong Alumni Industry Summit. Alam na natin yung problema. Minsan dito sa university, nakakasawa na po. Ang sabi ko nga sa team, lagi tayong nagkakaroon ng analysis by paralysis. Pero kasi kaya po nakakayamot na minsan impatient na po ang mga kasama natin, ang mga tao. Kasi ang kailangan natin, even si President Concepcion, sabi niya, ang kailangan ngayon ay trabaho, ang kailangan ngayon ay livelihood, lalo ngayong panahon ng pandemya. Kailangan ma-i-offer natin itong mga information, itong mga research, ma-utilize itong mga research natin to improve the livelihood and lot of our communities and our people. Kaya asahan niyo po nga sana itong mga ginagawa ho namin ay magkaroon po ng mga prutas, isa po ito sa mga pag-identify po namin ng mga low-hanging fruits, itong mga low-hanging fruits. Nasaan ba yung mga prutas na kagad-agad pwede ho nating pulutin, at kailangan i-disseminate po natin. Ang isang plano ay sana po ay ma-approve at para as part of our consolidation ay magkaroon po tayo ng isang vice na nabanggit ko po ito kay President na magkaroon po tayo ng isang Vice Chancellor for Production and Business Affairs. Hiwalay siya doon sa Research and Extension. Again, ito'y parte ng isang pagtingin ko na dapat yung research should translate to utilization, to dissemination of our products, to commercialization, to income generation. So, nabanggit ko po sa ating mga kasamahan kay President na sana pag naiyahan ito sa Board of Regents at sa kanyang opisina, ay ma-approve po itong proposal na magkaroon po tayo ng isang Vice Chancellor for Production and Business Affairs or we call it entrepreneurship. Nakita ko po ito sa mga SUCs na kung saan ako'y naging search committee chair ng mga presidente. Meron po silang portfolio for the Vice President for Production. At nakita ko na talagang yung consolidation to harmonize all the entrepreneurship potentials of the university, yung production aspects, yung income generation. Ito po ay ginagawa ng isang Vice President to assist ang presidente. Kaya sana po maaaring sabihin natin na ito'y later on magkakaroon ng kahalagaan o prutas, pero kailangan na nating isipin ang lahat ng mga plano nito. So maraming pong salamat sa inyong pakikisa sa amin, lalong-lalo na po dito sa Alumni Industry Academe Summit. Maraming pong salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Chancellor Dong Camacho. Thank you for sharing with us your vision and your ideas to strengthen the university alumni industry linkage and the impact that we are hoping it could have on our country. So maraming salamat po for including us in that vision, making it something that we can all aspire for. Mga kaibigan, ngayon naman po, pakinggan natin ang synthesis mula sa isang professor mula sa Department of Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship. He was former director of a UPLB Technology Transfer and Business Development Office to share with us his thoughts and his synthesis dito sa ating mga presentations at sa lahat ng ating mga pinag-usapan. No one is best equipped to give us that than Professor Glenn Baticados. Sir Glenn?
Thank you very much, kapatid Mildred, sa introduction. And this was really a very interesting and very insightful, no? And I hope this can be the first point of engagement that we can push and move forward. So just a short synthesis for everyone, just for the information of everyone, okay? So this morning, what we have seen so far for UPLB, now and then, there's no question that UPLB has been the leading technology and knowledge generator in terms of agri, food, and biotechnology. And UPLB, as shown by our 4 centers, the Institute of Animal Science, the Institute of Plant Breeding, the Institute of Food Science and Technology, and even the National Crop Protection Center, UPLB has been a preferred partner for R&D and training. So, and UPLB has been an industry enabler and supplier of top graduates in the whole industry in agri and even in food and in livestock. So we have heard so far this afternoon some of the low-hanging fruits of each of the university of each of the centers that has presented this morning, starting with the Institute of Plant Breeding. And I'm really excited about the new varieties that Doc Fe already shared earlier about the banana varieties, both Lakatan and Saba, about the ube. In fact, there's a lot of inquiries right now in terms of the purple sweet potato also. At the same time, the services offered by IPB, from tissue culture to genomics to varietal improvement, genome sequencing, and other kinds of technology. So there's a lot that IPB can offer, and they're very much willing to engage. Yes, ma'am.
Pwede na daw po kayong mag-share ng,
okay ba?
ng screen.
Sorry, that's good enough. Sige, thank you lang. I cannot share again.
Oh.
Anyway, I'll just proceed na lang, Ma'am Mel.
Sige po.
For the Institute of Food Science, we have seen a lot of promising technology. Sabi nga ng ating mga alumni, napakadami pala ng technology from this institute. And I would like to highlight especially yung mga bago nila, like yung what they have is yung cassava starch potassium sorbate coating. This is really interesting because they have been working closely with a local salted egg producer here in Laguna, and even yung kanilang micro encapsulation for the bignay, micro encapsulation of the bignay powder, as well as yung kanilang mga innovative products from food ingredients, especially yung kanilang sinigang mix, no? Yung batuan right now has gained a lot of attention in terms of this technology adoption. And what I like also with Ma'am Lotis is that she shared yung kanilang plan to set up a food processing R&D center. And hopefully the alumni will be able to partner and help us make this vision a reality. Okay. And for the Institute of the Animal Science, Dr. Rommel Sulabo has shared what they have been doing right from the start of their research. They have been collaborating extensively and intensively with local research or local companies as well as international companies. And I can see that the Institute of Animal Science has been one of the more aggressive and progressive in terms of linkaging with their alumni. For one, with Mr. Ronald Mascarenhas of Bounty Agro Ventures. Okay, and for the national crop protection, we have seen a lot of very exciting technology, especially these technologies are what we call smart agricultural technology. They have developed a lot of rapid test kits, not only for pesticides, but even in identifying and diagnosing diseases and pests in the field. They have developed this smarter pest disease identification technology, the Speed Tech. And would you imagine this is actually a free app, and this will be something interesting for the youth who wanted to venture into this kind of app development para may makita tayo. And they also have developed the FPA plant card and PCR assay-based virus detection. And I think NCPC is one of those centers that is really in the forefront of smart agri and combining computing and agri. Uso kasi ngayon yung mga tinatawag na drone technology, IoT or Internet of Things in agri, and even mobile apps for agri. And I'm really happy to see that NCPC have already kumbaga nakasabay sila sa trend in terms of crop protection and disease management. Okay? And in all of these things, ang laging tanong kasi, how can we access the technology in the university? At the same time, paano naman yung mga maliliit? As I mentioned several times, the point of contact, especially for the technologies and knowledge, is the University of the Philippines Los Baños Technology Transfer and Business Development Office. This office actually headed by Dr. Rommel Carlos, and it's, as sabi nga ni Chancellor kanina, Chancellor Dong, this is now reporting directly or under the supervision of the Office of the Chancellor. So it made sense at naging mas madali ang pakikipag-usap nyo. If you wanted to engage with the university, yes, for sure, you can engage with the other units and other centers or R&D centers of the university. But in terms of a unified unit that is in charge of technology adoption and technology transfer, that the UPLB-TTBDO is the unit that you need to really engage to. Okay? Kasi sila, through them, they can easily help you and assist you in terms of your technology need. At the same time, what kinds of linkage or collaboration would you like to establish with the university? Now, looking back on the learnings that we have so far, that we have heard from our speakers, our audience, at the same time from our alumni association executives, as well as from our UPLB executives, I would like to revisit again the points that has been raised and shared. This will be our point of engagement if we wanted to establish what you call UPLB and alumni linkage. One, thank you, Chancellor Dong, for sharing, for saying that we need to have a shared vision towards a future-ready partnership between UPLB and its alumni. And I do believe that it is really needed that we have one mind and one perspective in pushing for innovation as well as in pushing for collaboration. And as I would like also to revisit Dr. Rex Navarro suggestion that there should be a consolidation of efforts towards innovation and technology diffusion. And that's for one, for UPLB. Sabi nga ni Chancellor Dong, we need to put into fruition yung tinatabi natin ng UPLB Techno Hub. And together with his vision of coming up with a Vice Chancellor for economic development or entrepreneurship, that's really, really good. That consolidation is really timely right now. And that also will unify, to revisit again and to unify the UPLB R&D and extension policy or agenda. And Dr. Rex also mentioned that there should be a marriage already between development and research. Kasi yung R&D, dalawang points siya eh. May research, may development. And most often than not, nakakalimutan natin yung development side. Okay? So, he further said that it should be impact-driven and there should be a change in the mindset and a paradigm shift. Okay? And looking forward on a problem-driven or a problem-centric approach in R&D agenda, looking at the pest and disease challenges, yung increasing cost of inputs, and so on and so forth. And then Captain Baradas mentioned that there should be the university should also focus on agribusiness entrepreneurship. I believe that agribusiness entrepreneurship is the key. For the longest time, our model of agri-development, agri-rural development is focused on production. I think it's about time that we have a change in perspective also and consider the value chain approach and look on the role of entrepreneurship. It would be good if the university can have an enrollment, employment, and entrepreneurship. Kumbaga, parang E-cube or power raised to the power 3. Okay? Enrollment, employment, and entrepreneurship. And then, at the end of the day, ultimately, who is the beneficiary of all this innovation and technology? And Dr. Rex has mentioned that we should reach out to our smallholders. And I do believe that UPLB for the longest time has been reaching out, has been working with a lot of farming communities. So we just have to reiterate siguro and revisit that we should bear in mind that the ultimate beneficiary of technology and knowledge is the small farming family. And UPLB is in the best position for this, the best position to create the change and the best position to lead this kind of mindset because UPLB has been a producer of leaders in this in the field of agri and biotechnology. Ayokong sabihin na kapag may problema tayo sa agri ay kasalanan ng UPLB. Ang gusto ko sasabihin, kapag may problema sa agri, dapat ang UPLB ang laging pupuntahan ng ating gobyerno at ating industriya. Okay? And lastly, we cannot stress more the importance of the vigorous partnership and linkages. And as I can say that collaboration should not start at the end of R&D. In fact, collaboration should start in the conception of research. It should be development challenge centric, meaning at the start, we would love to see our alumni and the industry to partner with UPLB right from the start, to partner with our R&D centers, to partner with our academic colleges and units in developing and producing products in developing services and even in developing academic programs. And sabi nga ni Dr. Tabanaw earlier, we should focus more on helping the small as well as working with the low-hanging industries that who would like to partner with UPLB, like the food companies and the seed companies. All in all, I can say, let us all be stoked and woke. Sabi nga ng mga millennials, yung stoke kasi, meaning we need to be excited about this and woke. we need to be sensitive about the challenges and issues when it comes to climate smart agriculture right now. And this is all towards a future-ready UPLB. We are one with the Chancellor in pushing for a future-ready UPLB, a future-ready development. And that's all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning, everyone. Back to you, Kapatid Mel.
Maraming salamat, Sir Glenn. So thank you very much for that very comprehensive synthesis. So listening to you, it's like we remember everything, no? But also, thank you for adding insights and ideas of your own. Mga kaibigan, what we went through this morning, we have been introduced to the new technologies and products and services of some of our institutions here in the University of the Philippines Los Baños, like IPB, IFST, IAS, and NCPC. And also, they were also introduced what they're currently working on. But not only were we able to see what UPLB can offer, but you, our friends, our alumni, our friends in the industry also saw what it is that we need from you. And that's what Linkage is all about, how we can work together, because we have a lot of challenges. We also talked about these challenges, and also our Chancellor and Dr. Rex Navarro also mentioned about the things that and the plans that we have in place so that these challenges can be addressed. And so we would like to thank our panelists for a very rich discussion, at bilang paraan po ng aming pagpapakita ng aming pasasalamat sa inyo, we would like to present to you your certificates of appreciation. Okay, so let me read the Certificate of Appreciation. The University of the Philippines Los Baños Certificate of Appreciation this certificate is presented to Fe M. de la Cueva for sharing her valuable knowledge as panelist during the Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages, What UPLB Can Offer webinar, held on the 26th of October 2021 via Zoom. And this has been signed by the webinar series chair, Dr. Rex L. Navarro, and the director of UPLB OAR, Dr. Eileen Lorena Mamino, PhD. Ayan. Thank you very much, Ma'am Fe. And we also have the same certificate for Dr. Lotis E. Mopera for sharing her valuable knowledge as panelist during the Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages, What UPLB Can Offer webinar. Also, the same certificate of appreciation for Dr. Rommel C. Sulabo. And the certificate of appreciation for Director Melvin D. Ebuenga. Ayan, bigyan naman natin sila ng virtual clap. Pwede siguro yan. Bigyan natin sila ng virtual clap. This has been a very it's been a very rich discussion, and we were able to talk about many things. But before we go, we would like to hear from the Summit Overall Chair. Wala pong iba kundi si Dr. Cristino M. Collado.
Maraming salamat po. Unang-una, gusto kong bumati at magbigay galang sa ating Chancellor. Thank you, Chancellor Camacho, for joining us and for allowing us alumni to be the partner of the university in pushing your various agenda, particularly the future-proofing of UPLB. And by way of closing, I would like to thank the very credible, really intelligent people who made this seminar this morning very lively and enthusiastic. Gusto kong pasalamatan si Director Fe de la Cueva, IPB, Director Rommel Sulabo ng Animal Science, Director Lotis Mopera ng Food Science, and Director Melvin Ebuenga ng NCPC. And of course, the wonderful summation and synthesis made by Dr. Glenn Baticados. In addition, may I be allowed to give a special mention to the moderator of this morning's webinar, Dr. Mildred Moscoso. Thank you, ma'am. Your style is very refreshing, and we really appreciated the kind of moderating that enlivened today's discussion. Ito pong fourth in the series of webinars na binalak natin with the help of Dr. Rex Navarro and Dr. Shell Abito ay naglalayon na mabigyan ng parang introduction ang ating UPLB-Industry and Alumni Summit. Kumbaga po, these seminars are the teasers, pampagana po. But I think it is accomplishing more than that. Ito pong pang-apat at meron po pong pang-lima, ginawa po natin ito bilang paghahain ng kung ano naman ang maibibigay ng UPLB sa industry, sa mga alumni, at sa public na ating pong pinagsisilbihan bilang isang university. Pero ang nakita ko po sa umagang ito, at dapat nakita ko rin po sa mga nakaraan, ang ino-offer po ng UPLB pala ay hindi lamang technology. Nag-o-offer din po tayo ng brain power and talent. Talent na napakahirap hanapin. Because I think UPLB has the highest concentration of brain power in terms of technology and research. So dalawa po ang nakuha naman. Nakikinig sa atin lang ngayon. Dito po ay pinagmamalaki natin. And by the way, ang lahat po ng 4 na units na nag-present ngayon ay under the College of Agriculture and Food Science. And so my fellow alumni in the CAPS, Alumni Association, magbunyi po tayo at let's all be proud of our college. I hope the Chancellor is still on because at this point, while I'm supposed to just close this, there are 3 things that we would like to propose as a group in the UPLB-AA with Captain Manny Baradas here. One is we will pursue with the active participation and probably with the efforts of the all alumni around us here, na maituloy po natin yung trainings for entrepreneurship ng ating mga estudyante bago pa sila magtapos at lumisan ng ating university. Ang magiging papel po namin dito ay kami po ang hahanap ng mga resource persons from the industry nationwide. And I think it is safe to say na marami po tayong kakilala. And we will enlist the participation of all our leading alumni who are in the various aspects of business related to UPLB's curricular offerings. Ang pangalawa po ay yung kaninang binanggit na napakahirap nga naman yung pupunta ka sa UPLB. Hindi mo malaman kung saan ka pupunta. So nabanggit ni Chancellor na magkakaroon po tayo ng Techno Hub. We welcome that and we promise the Chancellor that we will be a part of that. We will actively support that. But at this point, we cannot wait. So what I'm proposing, we are proposing as an alumni group, we will pick up the recommendation of our former president, Dr. Emil Javier, that we create a techno info hotline. What will it do? Pagtatayo po tayo ng mga hotline na ang magiging purpose is to collect all the questions, all the suggestions, all the communications related to UPLB. And ito po para magiging imbudo, funnel. Mag-iipon po ito. Ipunin natin. And then saka po natin ipupukol sa different units ng UPLB. Para po isa lang ang kukontakin ng mga taong nasa labas ng kolehiyo ng UPLB. So we will try to operationalize that and we will discuss this with the Chancellor. Pangatlo po, after the summit, we will propose to the Chancellor the holding of a academic and industry-wide seminar on research planning and roadmap setting. Para po yung lahat ng ating magiging research agenda will be demand-based and bottom-up. Hihilingin po natin sa mga makikinabang, mga farmers, mga end users, ano po ang inyong pangangailangan, ano ang inyong hihilingin sa amin na aksayahan ng pangpananaliksik para po pakinabangan ng ating mga nakararami sa lipunan. So yung po tatlo na yon ang magiging top priorities ng UPLB-AA after this summit. And finally, I would like to enjoin all alumni wherever you are. This is the first time that we alumni are being actively sought and allowed to participate. Let us not waste this opportunity. Let us seize this opportunity. Sapagkat naniniwala po kami na Chancellor Dong, kami Captain Baradas here, na ang ating pagtutulungan at ang ating paglapit sa industry ang magiging susi para malabanan natin ang mga paghamon sa gabal na binigay sa atin ng pandemic. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate again the panelists. And lastly, I would like to thank the people who have been supporting us here in the headquarters. Ang Office of Alumni Relations, ang ating pong mga key officials sa UPLB-AA, maraming salamat po. At hanggang sa muli po natin pagkikita sa November 5 and 6. Magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Resty, Dr. Cristino Collado, the overall chair of the UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. Ayan, maraming salamat po for all your hard work in preparing for this. Again, ito pong ating webinar series ay bahagi, no? It's going to contribute to our UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. But this is only part 1. Ang tanong ni Sir Baradas kanina, ano ang maipagmamalaki ng UPLB? At ang simpleng sagot, napakarami. Kaya nga part 1 lang po ito. So we're expecting you next week. There's going to be part 2 of what UPLB can offer before we have our UPLB Alumni Industry Summit. Thank you very much for all your active participation. We have so much to look forward to between our linkage with the alumni and UPLB and hopefully our friends from the industry. Maraming salamat po mga kaibigan.